fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get to glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like Kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot, yeah, shoot, yeah, shooting, yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
Good evening. Welcome, Tottenham Hotspur. Massive. Welcome to the channel. It's Tottenham away, the best place to be on a Europa Cup night. Spurs have beaten Ferencvarosi 2-1. The boys from Hungary. We'll definitely discuss more about the game. But look, a win is a win. It keeps us in the top 8 in the Europa League table, which we'll look at later. We're currently third. As it stands, there's one more game to go in the Europa Cup tonight. If that stays as it is, we will remain third in the Europa League. Smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thanks for being here. As always, plenty to talk about. But before we begin, Mari, brother from another American mother, how are you?
Doing good. If you saw my Twitter handle and what I've said in the last couple of shows, as this guy got this cameo, I'm happy when I saw Mikey Moore starting, and Mikey Moore made me happy today. I'm excited.
Mikey Moore starting for sure. Probably looked the best out of the youngsters tonight, but we'll discuss it. We'll get everyone's views and opinions. Dan, how you doing?
Yeah, happy. That was a painful game to watch in a lot of ways, but we got the win, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Fucking painful game though.
Yeah, look, we'll discuss the game, the good, the bad, the ups and downs of it all. Man United got a draw last minute, Maguire. Damn it. I've just seen it. I was hoping they'd lose. Ian, how are you doing? Have you got your breath back after the Sunday away day at Old Trafford?
God, that was a long day, wasn't it? In the end, that journey home is always a long one. But there you go.
At least we got a Burger King.
Well, it is wonderful. Michelin 0 star. But there you go. It was a good day out, and today's another win. So it's 5 on the spin now. Happy days.
5 in a row for Tottenham for sure.
Yeah.
Michael, Mr. Poland, Mr. Tottenham representative of Poland. How are you?
Mate, what a day. This rat, Bruno Fernandes, got a red card again today. Tottenham win. 2 Polish clubs Champions League win. What else can I say? It's a brilliant day.
Michael's super. Was this red card actually got a red card? Because I know the one against us got turned. Was this legit red or?
He got 2 yellows, one of which was like a tactical foul, I would say. And the second one was he was trying to reach for the ball with his foot up high. And he didn't really catch the guy on the face. I think that he didn't even make contact, but just for the high foot, he got the second yellow. So
dangerous foot.
Yeah. But mate, honestly, I have to say our 2 clubs today. One, Legia Warsaw won with Real Betis at home, which is brilliant. And the second club, which I won't bore you guys with the name, but the second club won with Copenhagen away. So those aren't easy fixtures for clubs like ours. So trust me, our football report is absolutely ecstatic today.
Well, good for Michael and all the Polish teams in the Europa. Let's quickly say hello to a few people. Tony in the house, Rob, Ant, Matty, Ron, Ronnie, Tiznadu, Adrian's Wall, Max, Jammy Git, Sammy and the boys, James Flower. James, I'll send you a link in a minute, actually. I thought you got the links. I don't know why. Tom, we've got Lena, Paul Pablo, one of our own Lee, John George, the Sheriff. By the way, happy birthday. I hope you have a great day. I made you a mod the other night, so that's your birthday present from us, all right? You're a moderator for the channel. There you go. Liam, we've got Sophie in the house. George, Graham's in the building. Liam, Swifty, Tin Man, Oliver, Francois, how are you doing? Hope you're good. And yes, you can become a channel member by hitting the join button. Thanks you for that, Mark Swifty. Alrighty, so super chat here very quickly from A user. Thanks for being on the show tonight, A user. Bruno's red card rescinded today. He gets it back. Karma. All right, boys and girls. So team lineup was Vicario, Porro, Romero, Davies, Gray. So Davies and Gray come in. Udogie and Van der Ven out. Dragusin suspended. Saar, Basuma, Bergvall. So the entire midfield was changed from the weekend game of Maddison, Kulu, and Bentancur. And then the front three, Werner, Lancashire, Moore. No Son, no Johnson, no Solanke. But the kids get a chance. Moore and Lancashire is what we've wanted to see. The final score was 2-1 to the Spurs. Goals from Pape Sarr and Brennan Johnson, 5 and 5 for Johnson. And a late rally from Ferencvarosi. Vargas scored, and it created a nervy ending. Stats-wise, Spurs had more possession. Total shots was equal. On target, Spurs slightly edged it. More passes from Spurs. Clear-cut chances was equal for both teams. We had a lot more corners than they did, though. So it was, in some ways, it was a fairly even game. It wasn't like one-sided Spurs dominating the game, and at times it looked quite nervous for us. So in terms of the game itself, and let's put some perspective on it, we didn't put our strongest team out, but we kept with the same tactics. So the tactics were the same. The starting 11 was different. Mari, what did you make of the game? And look, is it just about the win, or do we need performances as well? Because from a performance perspective, what it looked like again was when we do rotate, like we saw against Karabag, like we saw against Coventry, we look a shadow of the team that we really are. So what did you make of it tonight?
I kind of expected it, and I'm not disappointed. The reason is because I wanted to see this. So when we saw the starting lineup, I was elated. I was excited. Remember, in the preseason, going into the season, what are the things that you're excited about the team going in? And I said, pretty much nothing. The only thing that would excite me is seeing the new players or seeing these young players and how they come out, especially Lancashire and Mikey Moore. And I've been begging to see more of Mikey Moore. And so when I saw it, I was really excited. And I knew that we will sacrifice some dominance because you're kids. And so for me, I was expecting a close 2-1, same tactics, but a little bit more of a struggle because we have kids there. And I'm willing to have this type of victory today because I want to see the kids. That's especially Mikey Moore. And I already know that we don't have a great rotation. So it is what it is. And I think the highlight point for me in watching this game is seeing how the young players play. Some did okay. Some you just like, maybe they should have gone off alone. And then those look very promising. And so for me, I was happy to see the youth. That was probably the number one thing for me. And we still got a result, but I was happy to see the youth.
Dan, happy with the result, happy to see the youth. All is good with you?
Yeah, well, happy with the result. I mean, you could say we made a mountain out of a molehill with that, and Grimtos scraped our way through that just like we have 3 of our last 5 games. I mean, that was as bad as the last European game, if you want to go by how it was played. And if they had someone who could finish, that could have been very different, same as the other European game. But it wasn't. We won, so I'm happy with that. I was quite shocked that he used 4 of the youth. I thought that was a bit of a risk, but I liked it that he was going to take the risk. But on the other side, I don't think he had no other option but to take that risk because we've got other games coming up, and I think it shows how shallow our team is. Definitely enjoyed watching Mikey Moore on there. And Timo Werner, well, that poor fella, man. I don't know what to say. I mean,
we're going to get into the individual players.
Yeah. Okay. But overall, it was a scrappy game. It was an absolute mess of a game. The pitch gave it no favours. Passing off of both teams was terrible. But we still scrimped and scraped our way through it and won it like the last one, like the Coventry game, and a win's a win. So I'm happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. A win is a win. And like I said, we're 3rd in the Europa League table. Puts us in a really strong position. Okay, it's only 2 points off of the cut-off, so we're by nowhere near qualifying, but 2-2 is the best possible start. Ian, you satisfied tonight? Happy with everything?
Yeah, pretty much. We had, if you look at the normal back 5, Benson, Cole, Madison, Kulu, Son, Solanke, Johnson as your first 11 at the moment. We had 3 from that 11 starting. We had 4 kids. We have Werner and Davis in there. We know there's no cohesion when you have so many changes. No injuries, no bookings, 3 points away from home.
Mm-hmm.
What's there to complain about? It's one of those scrappy wins. You can't be brilliant and win games every. We rarely win like we did on Sunday, but to go there and win, driving rain the whole game, more than happy. and great to see the kids being given the chance. All good.
Michael, good result.
Yeah,
Good to see the kids play.
I pretty much echo what the other guys said. I was really happy to see Moore starting, Langshi starting. I was a bit surprised that he decided to start like all four of them. I think those four that started today are the ones that we as a fan base have like the highest hopes for, I guess, right? So I was a bit surprised to see all four of them. And with some of them I was encouraged by what I saw, especially Mikey. And I know we'll talk about like the individual players later. But yeah, I have to say that, listen, going away to teams like today and, you know, to other teams of similar like profile, those are not easy games, right? On paper, we have a lot more quality, but as the guys said, right, everything works against you in those type of ties. Weather, fans, you know, everything works against you, right? So to walk away from that with 3 points, I cannot complain, right? I think it's really good. It's 5 wins on the trot, by the way. I know not against the best opposition, but I seen a Twitter post today that it's the first time since like 2021 that we got 5 wins in a row. So I'm really happy about it, right? I cannot really complain. There were like a couple minor issues in the game that I have problems with, but I'm kind of getting used to those. So I'm not sure if I should like point them out again.
Yeah, look, we'll get into it because we're all happy we've won because we want to win a trophy. And some fans think this is a great chance of winning a European trophy because the Champions League don't drop into the Europa Cup this season. Look, I'm going to put some perspective on it because that's what I do. And, you know, Stelios has to be the villain because people can't handle my views on anything anymore. Literally, even the color of my garden, if I was to tell you the grass isn't quite green, it's a problem. So
it means you're not looking after it now.
The thing is, it's raining every day, so it should get a bit more greener, I hope. But
then obviously you need to look after it more.
Yeah, it's my fault. Absolutely.
And you know how to sort your flowers and your grass out?
No, don't actually. No, don't. Sorry. Look, I've been saying for a while, I'm not fully convinced on board with anything yet. I'm not. Okay. After 10 games, I'll be able to gauge it, I think, with a better perspective. But for me, it's what happens and where we're at come end of May. So until we get there, you know, a win's a win. So, of course, delighted we won. That was the most important thing tonight. I felt yet again we played against a team that got in behind us so many times. It's just ridiculous at times. We think, at what point are we going to change it? And it's like, we don't keep doing it. A little bit better decision-making in the final third and a couple of their players being a little bit more clinical. This is not a win for Spurs, in my opinion. I saw the same against Coventry. I saw it against Karabag. To bring some balance to it, we've put a weakened team out. And so we should, because it's a weak side. Currently, and I'm looking at the table, Karabag are 34th out of 36 in the Europa League table. Our Ferencvarosi are 31 out of 36. So I don't think we're being tested, properly challenged, in my view. So I can't go crazy and say brilliant, excellent. Yeah. But what I will say is we won. And that's the most important thing. And we played a lot of youngsters who haven't played European football before. So it's promising to see where these youngsters end up in a couple of years if they're getting experience now, because we never got this before in the past, the youngsters getting regular minutes like they seem to be getting. So I just feel that it's impossible to judge it for me. So anyone that gets really carried away and says, brilliant, excellent, love it, I can't get on board with, but I'm not going to sit here and slam it and say shit, rubbish, crap, bollocks, get out of here. No, I'm going to say, all right, we're winning. Hopefully we've turned the corner. I think the next 3-4 games will decide it. Have we turned the corner, or was it a little bit of a purple patch? That's how I feel. Do you guys resonate with that, or do you think still, you're being harsh again, man? Come on, we won in Europe. What the hell? Because that is how I see it, and I'm just being honest about it.
Well, it's true. It's true what you're saying. I mean, it wasn't our full team out there. He put youth players out there.
Mm-hmm.
God, if they had a better strike force again, we could have been caught out there enough times. I mean, how many times did they charge it down the left side, down the right side, and totally open us up? Because this game we seemed a lot more inverted than we did with the Man U game. And it's the same ball over the top that always catches us, but it didn't. We had a poorer team out there and we scraped a point, basically, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. You're right in what you're saying. It was a total shambles mess, but we still managed to do it. Same as the game against Coventry and Carrier-Bag. So, like you said, a win's a win. A win's a win. And I thought Mikey Moore was probably the most complete player on the pitch from start to finish.
What do you guys make of the youngsters tonight? Because obviously we had Bergvall playing, Mikey Moore, Lancashire, Archie Gray. Did any of them really stand out for you? Did any of them really show that guile and that pizzazz that makes you think, there's a really top player there?
I will say, I'll start one by one. Lancashire, I wanted to see. I thought preseason he was okay, and I think for his like with the first team, his first start in raucous crowd in Hungary, European night, those Europa League. I think he held his own. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it was okay to get his feet wet, and that's why the 2-1 victory. I wasn't expecting anything more because of starting.
Guys, someone's phone's pinging really loudly.
It's Mari usually.
Yeah.
No,
Mari, it's like deafening.
No, it's actually silent and it's not coming from the computer, and it might be somebody else. But
sorry for the slander, Mari.
No, you're good.
It's probably him. It's probably him.
No. My sound is on here.
Yeah, my phone don't make that noise.
Ian, is it you?
No noise at all. Nothing.
All right,
It's you.
We've got a ghost. We've got a ghost. It's not me. I've got headphones on.
But no. So and he had one of the very few things that Timo Werner did was laid a nice pass for Lancashire, on the header, but it was a great attempt. So I think for his very first game, Lancashire was okay, to get his feet wet. Gray and Bergvall, you see the ups and downs, right? A lot of lost possessions. Bergvall did have one chance created. He's definitely gonna need some more time. And some people suggested he should have went out on loan. I kind of agree, but like I said, it was good to see. It was good to see him. Now, Mikey Moore is what I've been begging to see, and I got it tonight. I thought he had an okay, solid performance. I really like the promise that he shows. People joke around, they have him above Timo Werner, and I'm going to agree with it. I want more time for Mikey Moore. I want some more time. He's very promising to me, and I like his mentality. You can tell, he's going to go after it. I need to see more of Mikey Moore. I liked his performance today. The eye test and even Sofa score will even back it up. He had a good performance, Mikey Moore, and so I'm really excited about him. I want to see more of Mikey Moore.
I just want to quickly say, people saying, Stelios, you told us the kids wouldn't play. Right. I did say that Bergvall was going to play and Gray came after I spoke to the academy director. Regarding Mikey Moore and Lancashire, I can tell you what's going on there because I've spoken with Tottenham. Well, when I say Tottenham, the people that I know. Lancashire, they're forcing him to play, as in they've been forced to play him because Son's injured and Richarlison's injured. And there's no other rotation for Solanke. So Lancashire isn't out of choice. It's out of, we don't have anything else unless we keep rinsing Solanke. As for Mikey Moore, they were hugely impressed by his impact in pre-season. And they feel that if they don't give him a chance, they're going to lose him to another club because 2 other Premier League clubs have inquired about taking him off of Tottenham, and Tottenham don't want that. So
that's Dortmund apparently, right? I think it was Dortmund, City, and someone else.
That's right.
I've heard that. Yeah, big clubs acquired about him. Right?
Man City was one of the clubs. Yeah,
because he can't sign a proper contract till he's 18, can he?
No, but you can sign a scholarship, which he has got. Tottenham.
Yeah.
He's got a scholar, so he can.
That's for 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah, but the Tyrese Halls, the Phillips, Don Lees, all these guys, none of them are going to play this season. That I guarantee you. That I can guarantee. But anyway, that said, Ian, I know you wanted to speak. The youngsters tonight, how do you feel about it?
Mikey Moore, man of the match for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thought he was terrific throughout the whole game. Everything he did, I thought was spot on. Bergvall, for me, was disappointing. Because when you look at it, I mean, he came on a sub for Sweden the other week. So he's sort of probably that much further forward than the other kids. You know, he's played for his full international team. That was disappointing. He'll learn from that. Archie Gray, I thought, again, played out of position. Started him at centre-back. He's not a defender. He's a midfield player. Then he switched him over to left-back. Some nice touches. A couple of situations where he let the guy go outside him and get the ball across. It was a bit of a mixed game. But you know what? He's an 18-year-old kid. And I don't know why people are judging these young kids like they're established players. It's incorrect.
Okay.
Lancashire, I thought, did okay. Had the one chance, could have scored that one. Lovely ball in from Werner. That was the best thing that Werner did. I thought Lancashire held up the ball well. It was an okay performance from him for a debut. Was I delighted that all 4 were picked? Yes, it was a bit of a risk when you got only 3 first teamers there, but you know we got away with it today. You know, it wasn't a great performance. It was a bit of a mix, good and bad. But I suppose with the team that we had out, I'm not surprised. But then when you got kids coming in and playing European football away from home, it's not like they got 7 or 8 first teamers around them and they're at home at White Hart Lane. They're in Hungary, and they did fine. Okay. The 3 points are important.
Got a quick question for you then, Ian, yeah?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be judging the younger players because it's not fair on them, is it? Like, judging them for that, you said, yeah?
I think you judge them, Dan, as a kid coming into an inexperienced kid coming into a European match at Spurs. It's a bit of a difference from Leeds.
Okay.
Lancashire under 21. Why we? I don't know. I see comments here. Graham Bergvall should be loaned out. Why should they be loaned out?
Okay, I'll ask you the question then. Okay.
Fed in bit by bit.
Okay.
Gain more experience. They will improve.
Okay, I'll give you the question then. So basically, it's a bit out of order the way people are coming down heavy on them, yeah? Like judging them, yeah?
I think,
Is that what you're saying?
I think they are being judged in the same way that established players are being judged, and it's wrong because it's
right.
They're not at that level, are they? They haven't got that experience.
Okay. So who are you to sit here and judge Mikey Moore and say he was good then?
He is a generational talent. He is.
No.
Sorry, Dan.
One at a time.
If we can't judge a player, Ian,
there is
a judge a young player because he's good. We can also sit there and say when he's gone out of weight. Come on, it works both ways, man. Come on.
I think Mikey Moore did terrific, but then I think Mikey Moore is on a different level. Mikey Moore is on the same sort of hang on. You get a few kids coming through, like a Rooney, like a Nico Williams, like Yamal, who have come through. They're young and they are that good.
Mm-hmm.
The other kids are not that good. These are very special players. And Mikey Moore is a very special player.
Okay, but again,
So-
he's only 17. If we can sit here and judge him and say how good he is and how good he played, we can also sit there and judge a player and say, by the way he played, we think maybe he should be on loan to get better. It works both ways. You can't just have it one way. You've got to take it both ways.
I must say something, Dan. We haven't had much luck with loans, have we? Particularly with our players going out. For whatever reason, they don't seem to either be given the chance. They don't go to the right club. I'd much rather these kids. There are a handful.
It's been terrible, our loans. I agree.
They're
I'm
awful.
just making a point.
Yeah, but I'd much rather them stay at Spurs and get fed time and minutes like today, because they will all be better for today's experience.
Of course they will, and I hope they will. But the point I'm actually making to you is, if we can sit here and judge a young player saying, "Cool, yeah, he looks ready," we can also sit here and judge a player and say, "You don't look ready."
Mm-hmm.
You're basically contradicting yourself, because you're saying, yes, Mikey Moore quality, but you're saying we can't say Archie Gray don't look ready and he should be on loan. And you blatantly just said and admitted it. You think we're judging them wrong.
Dan, people can say what they like. I just disagree with that. That's my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, Dan.
Okay.
Fair enough. I just think
question I was asking.
It's a shame because Dan, he's played him in both fullback positions and centre back, and he's a midfield player.
Okay, it was just a question I was asking. I'm just saying, if you can say a player's ready, why can't you say you don't think they're ready? I want to see anyone slated him. I think people just said they don't think he's ready.
Dan, let's judge him in his best position. Would you play Basuma in the back, in the back four? Of course not. So why are they playing Gray in the back four?
Well,
Ian, can I say one thing about this, right? I'm not taking any sides on this at all. I'm just going to say what I think. If Archie Gray's not a centre back, or he's not a defender, and your argument is that Archie Gray's not a defender, they shouldn't be playing him there. That's why we shouldn't criticise him. Then you must criticise the manager. You either we criticise the player or we criticise the manager for playing the player incorrectly. We can't have it both ways. Do you agree with that?
I do. I think Angie's totally wrong playing. He obviously thinks he's a versatile player, and you can see the guy can play football. But we can only judge a player in his best position.
Even Terry Fleurs, he did a post game on Tottenham, and he was confused. It's like, was it Gray brought for the midfield? Why is he playing?
Terry Fleurs doesn't know about Spurs, man. He doesn't.
No. I mean, he's being clear about it.
He's a gooner. He's a gooner with the Man United kit on.
Yeah, I know. but he was even confused as a neutral that why is Gray playing a position that he's not supposed to play, because he could have sworn that he was a midfielder. So there is some confusion. Why is Ange playing him in the back and not in the midfield?
It is a strange one.
It is
a strange one.
Well, he hasn't got Spencer already on the signed up for the Europa, so you're too short there. He doesn't. He obviously wants to. Doesn't want to run Van der Ven into the grounds. So it doesn't leave him too much, does it? Dragason's suspended, so that takes 4 out of the equation.
And then the question goes: why the bloody hell did the manager let Jet Spence not put him in the squad?
So another good question. Another mistake by the manager.
But the problem is, if someone
we need 4 keepers forward still.
Well, see, this is the problem we've got as Spurs fans right now. If we dare criticise Ange or question it, we're the devil's work. We're all racists and rapists, right? If you dare, so what do? So then we try and make out that the player is a right back. Then he is a centre back. He's just not doing well at it at the moment. Maybe he is a defender and he'll come good with time. But from all the games I've seen, I don't think Archie Gray's suited to a defensive role. I don't. That's my personal view. I don't think he's suited to it. Yeah. But he could prove me wrong in 10 games time. 10 games time. Who knows? Yeah.
Still, the way I look at Archie Gray's performances, is that he's lacking defensively, but he's good on the ball going forward. That's how I would judge him over the game time, over the minutes that he's played. I don't know why he keeps playing him in defence. He's just not a defender.
No, that's what I thought. I mean, the only point I was making to you earlier is if you can say that someone's been great and they're good enough.
Yeah.
No one said he's bad. I don't think he was bad considering he was played out of position. I just don't think he's a centre back or a left back. Is all I've actually said about him.
No, I agree with you.
The only point I was making to you is if you can say you think one is prepared and one looked brilliant, you can also say that maybe he should be loaned out, and you're not coming down on him like a ton of bricks. Yeah. You just think he's more prepared than the other. That's all that people are actually saying.
Yeah.
That's the point I was making,
I can, guys,
basically.
Right? If I can, I personally think that neither this nor the Karabakh performance were particularly great from Archie Gray, but I think we are all in the same boat of saying that we don't think he is a defender, right? Which, like, for me kind of puts a bit of a caveat about how I judge him, right? I can say that he was poor in the role that he was given, but I'm not sure if he is particularly suited to do the role. I personally, from what I've seen from him, I think he's not even a 6. I think he's more suited to like an 8 role, right? At least until he, like, it's harsh to say, but I think at least until he mans up, like bulks up and, becomes a bit like stronger, upper body strength, all that. So I don't think we should like cast him off or anything. I'm not saying any of us did, right? But I've seen some people saying that he's been trash or whatever. I think that's a bit too harsh, but I also won't be praising his performance to the high heavens because I don't think his performance deserves that, right? But I also, that's Archie Gray, right? But I have to point to one person because you guys praised Mikey Moore already. I agree with that. I think for Will Langshey, it was a bit of a hard game, but I wasn't impressed with Bergvall today, and I have to say that. I don't know. I think this guy, and I'm not sure why, but I think he loses the ball a lot. And Saba, you've been saying this plenty. So I don't want to steal your point if you want to come in here, but I agree with you. I think he loses the ball a lot. But again, for me, with judging youngsters, I always try to I try to be a bit more lean in terms of like judging how good they are now and how good they will be. I don't think one bad performance as an 18-year-old means that you are not, that you are a trash footballer or you shouldn't be given more chances or any of that, right? So
it's because we spent a lot of money, Michael, isn't it? We spent, was it 30 million, and we don't know where his correct position is. We don't know if the manager's playing him in his right position. And to date, I think it's fair to say, and he is young. He is. Listen, look. Let me ask you this question. Should he have gone out on loan and got regular start? Because I've always said the best way to develop a youngster is they need regular minutes, playing week in, week out. At Spurs, he's not going to get those minutes. And I think it stifles a youngster's development. So do you think, and you saw it with Bergvall, he got pulled off against Karabakh, so he never got the 90 minutes. He then comes on against Man United because he hasn't had any minutes. He wasn't that good at Old Trafford, but what did we expect? And then tonight, as Ian said, he doesn't play well. Do you know why? Because he's not getting regular minutes. Without regular minutes, you cannot develop as a youngster. It's not going to happen. Yeah, so do you think we are risking not progressing these players to the level that they could get to? And I'm talking about Bergvall and Gray, because we are not going to give them the minutes they require.
The problem we've got, we don't have a big enough squad.
No, okay. So that's I think what I wanted to.
Well, whose fault is that? Right? Whose fault is that?
I personally think we should have loaned Archie Gray back to Leeds. I think this would have been the best course of action to progress his development. But I think we all agree that somebody at the top made the decision that instead of signing like a senior midfielder for now, we decided to sign Archie Gray and give him a lot of time, which is a much riskier operation, right? And I also think I don't think we would ever see Archie Gray playing centre back if we signed a centre back in the summer, right? I think this is the biggest issue for me. I think all of us pointed out that our left side especially is weak in terms of even the amount of bodies that we have, right? We don't have cover for designated cover for left back. Spence is a bit of a makeshift cover. And for some bloody reason, I don't understand why we decided not to register him in the squad. And we don't have another left-sided centre back other than Davies, right? So I think if this club did its job properly, right? I think if this club did its job properly and actually had a proper plan for the summer window, I think we should have brought Archie Gray and loaned him back and should have brought in centre back, and we wouldn't have this discussion right now, right? And unfortunate turn of events.
We signed Ashley Phillips, Michael. We signed Ashley Phillips a year ago. He never played. He went out on loan. He's done pre-season, gone out on loan again. So there's an argument to say we do have a centre back there, but maybe maybe he's not ready. Maybe he's not ready.
So I'm.
But he's got to be better than Ben Davies in terms of recovering in this tactic that we play, surely.
I actually, can I say something, Matt? I don't think Ben Davies was as bad as he usually is. I think this performance at Karabakh, I think he was okay.
Well, Torre was giving him in great problems all game. Torre, for can't pronounce the team tonight, he was giving a lot of problems.
Sava, you wanted to come on and speak? Go for it.
Yeah, I just find what I find interesting, first and foremost, we won the game. I think, I don't feel like we should have to caveat that every time we critique a footballer, right? We won a game, right? We won a game. It was a scrappy game. Who cares? We got 3 points. I think the interesting thing I find really disingenuous about this whole Archie Gray, Bergvall type conversation is fans praised the window. So many fans praised the transfer window, right? And so much of our budget went on Archie Gray. I'm going to judge Archie Gray from the moment he's arrived. He cost £40 million, and the club told us, in their own words, the club said, we don't need to buy more experienced players because of how well Archie Gray and Bergvall have done in training. Fine. So they're now first team, first squad players. Whenever they come into play, everything is, but they're young, they're kids. Cool. All right. Then at least one of them should be out on loan, right? And if one of them was bought for £40 million and starts anywhere for Spurs but his actual position, I have a couple of questions about this. One, is he actually that good in his own position? Every man and his dog is starting in central midfield other than the bloke we splashed £40 million on. Kulu starts there. Maddison starts there. Bentancur starts there. Bergvall starts there. Basuma, Sarr. They all start above this kid. He gets shoved to right back, then centre back, then left back. I'm told he's versatile. The guy can't defend. No, I'm not knocking him. He's not a defender. I don't care what anyone says. He's bought for versatility. No, he's not. He can't defend. If this guy's a midfielder, play him in midfield or loan him out to a club where he's going to play in midfield every game. Because still, I'm on your wavelength. These kids, you can't give them 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and we go, oh, they're better off with us getting minutes and learning our style of football. They're not playing. And even when they do get games, they're not playing with the first team. So it's not like you're seeing Archie Gray being dropped into a midfield with Bentancur and Maddison and seeing what he can do. He's playing with the backup players.
But we're asking them to carry us instead of learn from us.
Exactly. Listen, I've got no problem with Archie Gray and Bergvall being bought. But the thing is, if you've bought them and we've said these are our first team, first squad players, then people go, oh, but like Ian, no offense, but you're sitting there going, no, you can't judge them. They're young kids. Hang on. The club decided that these were our first team players. The club have decided that these are the squad players to see us through a season with 4 competitions. I'm going to judge them as first team players. Now, yes, they get a little bit of leeway because they're kids, but like Bergvall, every time Bergvall plays, I keep hearing he's this brilliant midfielder and he should start in front of James Maddison. Give your heads a wobble if anyone thinks that. James Maddison is a million times the footballer that Bergvall is right now. But I still hear it every game. Bergvall should start above Maddison. Really? Bergvall, for me, looks like a good young technical player that is in desperate need of minutes. Like, I don't mean every other Thursday he gets 15, 20, 30 minutes. I mean, he looks like he needs to be playing week in, week out for confidence to play. At the moment, he's coming in. I think he's trying so hard that he's giving the ball away nearly every time he gets it. I'm not sure with every young player that's staying at the club because of if they go out on loan that it won't look good for them. I don't think that's the right way to go about it. At the end of the day, the Archie Gray one is the big one for me. 14 million of our budget. And somebody just mentioned then and said, oh, but our squad isn't very deep. Yeah, because the squad's not deep because we spent 40 million budget for midfield on an 18-year-old rather than buying a 40 million pound ready-made central midfielder that steps into games like tonight and runs the show. That's the difference between what we've done, say what an Arsenal did where they bought Mikel Merino, a ready-made 25, 30, 40 million pound player that can step in and play in those big games. We've bought an 18-year-old kid, but then we want to protect him and don't even want to play him in his proper position. I don't see the point. It almost feels like it was a rushed signing. It almost feels like it was a signing that's made everybody go a little bit overboard. And for me, if you're going to bring them in, if you're going to bring them in, I don't think you can accommodate both of them because you're already seeing Bergvall playing in centre mid means that Archie Gray isn't getting a look in. Archie Gray's not getting a sniff. And that's our £40 million. That's our second biggest signing of the summer who can't get a game in his own position for love nor money against anybody. That's a worry, isn't it? You're on mute, sir.
I don't think that sounds...
question still. Sorry, go on. Yeah. Sorry.
So I was going to say, pre-season, I kept saying how, tell me who is dropped for these kids to play. And I said exactly what Sava said about we've got 3 choices already in that 6. Bentancur, Bissouma, Sarr. Who are we dropping for Gray to get regular minutes? With Bergvall, you could kind of see it because Maddison could get dropped potentially. But now that Kulu's become quite a good midfielder, you can see Kulu now being ahead of Bergvall if Maddison doesn't play in that role. So then those 2 aren't going to get the minutes. It's not going to happen. And then that leaves Mikey Moore, who's probably only going to get these ad hoc minutes here and there in Europe and come on when we're 3-0 up at Old Trafford. So for anyone to justify these kids, they've just got to explain who's going to get dropped.
Still, let me ask you, right? In the last 2 games, we've seen 6 people playing central midfield in one. I don't care if we're calling them 6 and 8s and 10s.
Yeah.
We've seen six people playing central midfield. Not one of them is the £40 million midfield signing. That, for me, screams of panic in the transfer market. That for me screams of that we've got no clue. Like Postecoglou at no point has said, Archie, do you know what? We're playing Karabag. We're playing Ferencvarosi. We're playing Coventry. Go and play in central midfield. Nope. Go and play right back. Go and play centre back. Go and play left back. Then we're making excuses, but we haven't got defenders. Well, okay, whose fault is that? Ange has come out and he put Phillips out on loan, right? So again, in a game like tonight, rather than seeing Ashley Phillips playing at centre half, we're seeing Archie Gray play there.
Or even Dorrington, who was part of
the
squad
Dorrington.
Today, right?
He's not put Jed Spence in the squad, in the Europa League squad. And he came out, didn't he? You all saw the quotes on transfer deadline day where he said, we didn't bring in another centre-back because we didn't want to block the path of Vuskovic and Phillips.
Who both are
mind blown. So So you don't want to block the path. But in games like today, we have to play Archie Gray. And that's not, by the way, this isn't Archie Gray's fault. But you have to play Archie Gray at left back and centre back because you didn't buy enough players in the transfer window. So for me, yes, I will judge this.
You know why? Sebo, you know why we didn't buy enough players in the transfer window. You know. You follow Tottenham closely enough. You know why we're short. I shouldn't have to tell you. The whole thing was about Levy getting the books up so that he could bring in investment.
Yes.
His net spend, when you knock off, we had 17 players either leave or go out on loan.
Yes.
I think we had 4 that have come in and 1 that's coming in January.
Yes.
The saving on the wages, I think, was 38 million.
Yes.
The net spend was 70, less 38. We had a net spend of 32 million. Just so that the books would be as strong as possible. Sure. So the first team squad suffered. That's why we're short of players. I'm sure you know that as well.
Ian, I know all of that, but do you know what you've done there, right? That's a red herring of an argument to debate what we're actually talking about. My point is, if that's what we're going to do, why was the £40 million we spent on a kid who doesn't even get a game in his own position not spent somewhere else where we needed it?
Because they've been watching him for months and they wanted him, and they maybe weren't planning to get him this summer, but because Brentford came in for him, that prompted Spurs to move for him.
Okay, so it prompted Spurs to move for a player that we've got no ambition to play in his actual position.
He should be playing. Listen, he's 18. If he comes in and he makes his mark next season, my problem isn't that they bought Graham Bergvall. My problem is that they didn't bring in other players.
But Ian,
that was more the problem. We're not saying that Gray is a bad acquisition. What you're saying,
Ian, what Sava's saying to you,
he's ready for the first team. So why didn't we either spend the money?
You're not answering my question,
though. Players, or Ian, bring in other players alongside.
You're not answering my question.
Can I just say, Ian? What Sava's saying to you, if I've got this right, is if Spurs knew that the budget wasn't going to allow us to buy youngsters and ready-made, then just get the ready-made.
There you go. But instead, what we've done is we've bought Gray. And again, this makes it sound like I hate him. I don't. But when he comes on that pitch, he looks like a kid that's been plucked from the youth team playing his first ever senior games.
No, I'm sorry. He's very...
And Mikey Moore comes on and gets man of the match and looks like a faded from the Premier League.
Ian, let me finish.
He's very good on the ball, Sam.
Ian, let me finish.
Not defending well, but he's good on the ball.
Ian, let me finish.
You can't say he looks like a...
Ian, let me finish. Ian, let me finish. For a guy who's very good on the ball, he doesn't half give it away a lot. I keep hearing this every game I hear. Bergvall and Gray are brilliant. They're so good technically on the ball. They keep giving it away. If Gray is that good, right? If Gray is that good, his defensive body shape is all over the shop. Defensively, anything that went in behind him today at all, anytime a bloke run at him, he looked well out of it, right? So what Stell just said there is correct, Ian. Tottenham Hotspur, if we knew that's what the budget was and we knew we didn't have enough to go and buy senior and junior, why wasn't Archie Gray made the priority over buying a senior pro that drops straight into that midfield in a game like tonight and we all go, good player's gone in there. Why wasn't a defender bought with that 40 million when we know we've not got many defenders? So whichever way you look at it, I'm not having a go at Gray, but he doesn't look like a £40 million footballer that's ready to play football. He looks like a kid that's not played a lot of first-team football in his career. But we decided that 40 million of our transfer budget was going to go on him, and we don't even play him in his position. I feel sorry for him.
So do I. I agree with you, Salah, what you said about the body shape for the defending. He's too square on, and that's why players are going round him. Fully agree with you on that one. I think on the ball he's very good. He's given the ball away, but at least he's trying to progress the ball forward. And I'm not going to.
That's the bare minimum.
I'm certainly not going to be slaughtering the kid because he's given the ball away a few times.
Yeah, but
he is a
Ian,
good player and he can play football. The
no
problem
one's
is,
slaughtering him.
I keep saying the problem is they didn't buy enough established players in the transfer. And Ange wanted one player. He was desperate for Gallagher. He was focused. It was like tunnel vision. He wanted Conor Gallagher, and Gallagher was never going to join.
Ian, but that keeps coming back to my point. Ian, you keep saying, I'm not disappointed we bought the youngsters. We should have bought on top. But if Spurs knew that was their budget and they went for the youth instead of the ready-made, that's on Ange. That's on the director of football, right?
Yes.
And just quickly, listen to how backwards this comment is, right? Good beats N. Sorry, no, it wasn't him. Somebody said, our midfield, where is it? Our midfield is stacked. You make it out like buying Gray was a mistake. If our midfield is stacked, then why did we spend 40 million on an 18-year-old that is our 7th choice midfielder? 7th. This doesn't make sense. It's not about slaughtering Gray. It's about we're not giving him the proper development. We're chucking him in to any position where we're light, which isn't showcasing his ability. And the best we can do is go, oh, but he's good on the ball. Okay, no offense. He's playing fullback. He's playing centre back. That's not the prerequisite. The prerequisite for playing in those positions is, can you defend? And the answer is no. That's not his fault. Again, I'm not slaughtering Gray. But if, again, Ian, I'll ask you this question. If you were watching Aston Villa play Archie Gray, yeah, or Newcastle were playing Archie Gray, and you were seeing what you're seeing from him in a Spurs shirt, there is no way you sit here with this chest going on about he's brilliant and blah, blah. He's going to be an exceptional.
Brilliant. I said there's terrific potential. He shone at championship level last year. They all rate him. They rate him at Spurs very highly. He's 18 years old, and I keep saying the same thing. You cannot judge these kids like Graham Bergvall on performance on the way you would judge a Bentancur or a Basuma. I'm sorry, you just wouldn't, because
why can't we though? Why not?
Yeah,
why not?
Get this.
Why not?
Why not? Why not? Would you judge anybody in their job who's been in it 7 years and someone else who's been in it 2 years?
If when we paid Mourinho and Conte 10 and 15 million pounds a year, I'm judging them from day one. We paid 40 million pounds for these players. I'm judging them from day one. If they were like Dele Alli, who came for 5 million, or a youngster like Phillips, who came for 3 million, I'm not judging them because clearly we've invested.
Still, how long have Mourinho and Conte been managing when they joined us?
That's not my point. I'm doing it based on what the value
is. That's the point I'm making.
No, wait, okay, Ian. All right, let me explain another way. If you buy a car for £1,000, or you pay a car,
you can't use that. You can't use a car.
Why can't I use that? Why not? It's valuation.
It's valuation. Machine. And machines are different to human beings.
Okay, so it's not about how much money we spend. Okay, it's about the age of the player.
It's about the experience and the ability of the player.
Right, but if we spend 40 million, you'd expect the ability to be pretty damn good.
Well, sometimes you overpay for players, and sometimes you get bargains still.
So what you're saying is Archie Gray's not a 40 million pound ability player. Then
they paid probably more than they wanted to pay for him because Brentford were going to pay for him.
We used our transfer budget.
Yeah. So you have to ask Ange for that.
No, Ian. No, hang on. Ian, you're the one sticking up for it. I'm asking you. Yeah. We used 40 million of our transfer budget to stop Brentford getting a player. Are you telling me the club couldn't find anybody for 40 million at that age?
If you've been tracking a player for several months. And you want that player.
Months.
So these guys, yes, months. These guys are not idiots.
Well, that's debatable.
If you think you're better than them, Send your CV into the club.
No, Ian, grow
you
up.
can do a better job.
No.
But you can do a better job than Spurs recruit.
Ian, no. Hang on. Ian, sorry. Let me explain something to you. I'm sorry. You don't talk to me like that in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to tell you why you don't.
If you think they're shit,
No.
If you think they're rubbish,
Ian, I'm going to tell you, Ian, you are a grown man on a YouTube debate. We are all here to debate. If the answer to everything is going to be, if you think you know more than Ange, put your CV in. If you think you know more, then what are any of us doing here? Ian, I can't believe you. I can't believe.
Do we not trust the experts, Sav?
I cannot believe I've just heard that absolute childish nonsense come out of your mouth. I cannot believe
that. You come out with nonsense like Gray's this, Gray's
that. Both of you, 1 minute, hear me out. I'm sitting here as a neutral. Both of you are getting personal. Let's bring it back to football.
Hang on, whoa. I'm just saying. Still, I haven't got personal. I'm talking.
You saying childish nonsense, and you saying you go put your CV to the club. No. I'm just saying to both of you, let's bring it back to football. That's all. Let's just bring it back to football.
Hang on. I'm talking football, and I've got a grown man saying to me, if you think you can do better, send your CV in. I expect that from the 18-year-old trolls on YouTube, right? We're talking about football, right? If you're saying, do I trust the experts? Are we talking about the same? So, Ian, do you rate Timo Werner?
No, I don't. That was Ange's decision. I don't rate that.
Ian, you don't rate Timo Werner.
That was a financial. That was
no.
No, that was my interpretation. I don't rate him. I didn't want him back. But if you say to me, why did the club bring him back?
No, hang on. You haven't. You've gone off on a tangent. You've gone off on a tangent.
To bring him in for a year while they bring.
You've gone off in a tangent.
What's the question at hand here? What's the actual debating point now? Is it the transfer?
Hang on. We're talking about trusting the scouts. Ian said to me, if I know better, send my CV in. Like a really good comment that was. Do you not trust the experts, Sava? The same experts that just brought in Timo Werner for a second time in 6 months. This is the benchmark that we're playing with. That I trust them for Archie Gray, right? But I don't trust them for Timo Werner. So do you trust them or do you not, Ian?
I do trust them.
Okay, so you like the signing of Timo Werner?
I don't personally think
is it fair?
Can't have it both ways. Can't have it both
ways.
They
do it right every time, Sad, but that doesn't mean I don't trust them.
Guys, can I say something?
Let Michael come in. Yeah, Michael, speak on.
Yeah, because
it's a good debate. Listen, it's a good debate. I just don't want us to fall out over it. That's all.
I'm not falling out of anyone. I'm just.
I know. I'm just being ready.
I'm just getting my CV ready to send to Tottenham.
Let me make my point, right?
Yeah.
I've said once on this show, right, that Archie Gray is the 4th most expensive 18-year-old ever, right? Behind Vini, Endrick, and Rodrigo, right? And I just went on Transfermarkt to see when Real Madrid bought Vini Jr. in season 2018-19, right? How much game time they gave him, right? And they bought him in summer for like first 8 to 9 game weeks he played for the under-21s, right? And then after that, he pretty much got, I don't want to say like the starting spot, right? Because there were some matches where he was playing 45 minutes or like 26 minutes, but like 2 in 3 he was starting, right? And this started a trend of him breaking into that first team on a regular basis. Like first season he came into the club, right? So I think we as a fan base are justified to expect our club to spend that kind of money on a player that is supposed to impact the first team. Maybe not from the get-go, right? I don't mean that he has to come and game week 1, he starts 90 minutes over established internationals, right? But I think we have our doubts whether he is ready for the first team football in the Premier League, right? So I think we are justified in saying that maybe if we have those doubts, that we should have loaned him out, right? Instead of bringing him in straight from the get-go to the first team and then not giving him minutes in his desired position with
Mikhail,
desired game
my only
time.
point.
right?
Mikhail, that's my only point.
Yeah, but
my point isn't.
I think you guys are making the same point, or a similar point, right? But approaching it from a different angle, right? Ian is saying that, and I don't think you, Sava, would have issues with us spending that kind of money on Archie Gray if we brought in a senior midfielder over him, right? Yeah, I think you guys are making the same point, just approaching it from a different avenue
I agree.
and not meeting in the middle, right?
Let me summarize.
That's what I wanted to say, basically, right? Is I think, and I'm the same, right? I personally think he should have been loaned out. I can see that there is something about this player, but I just don't think we will give him enough game time and enough of a stable environment to grow, right? I don't think our club is stable enough to bank on an 18-year-old without that much game experience, right? And I don't know,
Mikhail,
guys.
let me sum up a point and then I'll go.
Yeah.
Let me sum up a point. I'll go. I think a lot of your viewers are getting frustrated with me still because
No,
listen.
no.
No.
You've got viewers here backing you, Sava, as well. It's both ways.
But do you know what? I joined YouTube to debate. I didn't join YouTube because
Look,
we're not allowed an opinion because we're not working at the club. Yeah, no, I know.
Read that.
But
fans are split on
hate
this
this.
issue. Split on it.
I hate this. We're told we have to, I don't even know. I don't even know. Listen, I'm not knocking Archie Gray. All I know is we spent 40 million of our transfer budget on a kid that is the 7th choice central midfielder. Yeah. We're not allowed to critique him. If you critique him, he's 18, but the club have decided 18-year-olds are the way to go forward. So basically what we're being told by people now is no one can be critiqued until they're what age? 20? 21? When are we allowed to critique these players that everyone called these players, they're brilliant, their ceilings are so high, they're generational. So much so, Bergvall can't get a minute of football in the Premier League. Archie Gray can't get a minute in football in his position against Karabag and Ferencvarosi. I don't know what we're doing here. It just seems like no critique is allowed at this football club unless your name is Timo Werner. It's just madness.
I think what it is this, right? You want to question the decision making of the club and trying to make sense of what we're doing with Archie Gray because you can't make sense of it. Whereas Ian, he really believes in Gray and the youngsters we've signed, and he trusts the process that the transfer committee have invested in. You are two different sides of the spectrum. You're like, look, I don't know what this kid's about yet, but what I'm seeing so far, this doesn't make sense based on the price and some of the other transfers we made. Whereas Ian is like, no, I believe in this, and I think it's going to happen, and I trust it more. So Ian's more trusting than you are over what is going on, and that's where the two different opinions sit.
I agree. By the way, when I said I need to go, I need to go anyway. But just before I go, I'm sitting here as a fan of a football club that are playing in 4 competitions, and we decided that 80 million of our transfer budget was going to be on Gray, Bergvall, and Odebert. I'm being told, trust these experts. I'm asking the question, what's the aim of the football club? If I'm trusting these experts, and that's where 80 million pounds of our transfer fee have gone, what's the aim of this football club? Because it's not winning things, is it? What am I trusting them with? 80 million pounds on those 3 footballers.
Sava.
Right? Timo Werner, how much money on wages and loan fees? But trust the recruitment team. So listen, I had a long stream earlier. I base all of mine on facts. I don't do the whole feelings. Oh, they're 18, bless them. I don't care. You're a pro footballer. If you're putting on a football shirt for Tottenham, you're ready. Mikey Moore, 17 today. Yeah, no excuses. Look at the boy. Player. Mikey Moore is a player, right? I'm watching Archie Gray, 40 million versus 0 million. One's a player that just got on with it. The other one has excuses time and time again. If he's that good, if Ian believes in him so much, if all these people out there believe in him so much, why doesn't Ange believe in him? Why doesn't the manager of the football club believe in him? Forget telling me that I need to support the club and I need to apply for these jobs. Why doesn't the manager believe in him like everyone else does? If I'm so wrong, why doesn't the manager believe in him?
It's a good question, because to me, You got the three. You talk about 7 players in midfield. Let's split it up. Let's split them. Maddison, Kulu, Bergvall. Are you creative players? And you're more box to box. Maddison, Kulu, and Bergvall.
I disagree. I don't think Bergvall is.
Let Ian have his say. Let's hear what he has to say. Go on, finish your say.
Okay. So he's gone.
No, he's not. He's just turned the camera off for a second.
Okay. So, and then you've got Basuma, Sarr, Bentancur, and Gray. Now, to me, Bentancur this season is getting better and better and better. Basuma's been a bit hit and miss. He's been better than the back end of last season, but he's not at that level of Bentancur. You wouldn't say that he is consistently at a high level. And Sarr may have scored a couple of goals in the last 2 European games, but his form has dropped off a little bit as well. So for me personally, I would be putting Gray in as a backup to Bentancur or Sarr or Basuma and give him minutes, because Bentancur is worth, Bentancur plays and he's 90 minutes. I think Bentancur is terrific this season. But the other two, I don't think they are that good that Gray doesn't get any minutes. And I'd like to see Gray given a chance in the Premier League, in his position. Let's see how he does before anybody says he's not good enough for the Premier League. And if he's not good enough for the Premier League in his position at the moment, if he's not ready, then send him out on a loan. But let's not judge him till we see him in his proper position in the first team.
All right, let me bring in Mari and Dan, because they've sat here patiently for 20 odd minutes and not having a say on this. You've heard Sava, you've heard Ian, you've heard 2 different viewpoints on this. Where are you at with this Archie Gray conundrum? Do you trust the process? Is he not being played in his right position? Do you blame Ange? Do we need to give him time? Where are you at?
It goes back to the vision of the club. And I was going to add on to what Sava said. Today, Dan Kilpatrick mentioned what Lang said, that Levy is still in charge of the finances, right? He's in charge of the finances, and Scouts is in charge, and along with Ange, with the players that we get the targets.
Mari, can we make that clear? He's in charge of the finances regarding the transfers.
Yeah, regarding the transfers. Yeah. So that means everybody that says, well, Levy's a genius when it comes to finances. Well, Sava just proved it. Look how much we spent on these players, especially when you see the guys like Kudus that have gone for less and the players. And then the scouts, right, which I always question, right, because Levy's no scout, but I question the scouting board, the analytics board of the players that we have brought in, right? Ange and the scout and Lange. So I question. So it's a double-edged sword, essentially, where you have Daniel Levy overpricing some players, 18-year-olds like Gray, and then you have the scouts who bring in the Grays and they rate and they rate them. So it's both of them, It's not good. It's not positive to know that you have finances not being spent well, along with the scouting not being done well. And in my opinion, I still don't trust both. I don't trust scouts, and of course, I never trust Levy. And so, I'm with side on that point because.
Mari, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
When we're told, do we trust the scouts? Can I ask the obvious question that goes with it? For what? Am I trusting them that we can finish 6th, 7th, and 8th? Yeah. Do I trust the scouts that they've bought good enough players to take us further than that? No.
And to go to your point, because I know we're going to talk about this, because everybody, still to today, they want apologies for Brennan Johnson. And if everybody, Dan was with me on the show on Sunday, apologize for what? If at that time, you're not playing well, I'm going to critique you at that point. So I was going to, because I a lot of my friends, right, and live in very Spanish oriented. I live in Florida, so a lot of them are Real Madrid fans and Barcelona fans, but some of them like Premier League teams. And actually, I asked them. I said, "Tell me about Brennan Johnson." And some of them are like, "Oh yeah, he scored. He's scoring some goals." And I asked them, "Would you take him at your club?" They're like, "No, he's going through a purple patch." And I'm like, "Are you sure? Maybe this is the beginning and whatsoever." They're like, "Mark, remember that when Dele Ali first came to Spurs and he was all world. He came with chess. Like, we got one of the best midfielders in the world, Dele Ali. Remember what we said?" And I remember. Oh, he's not the last one.
He was probably the best young player in that kind of 2-3 year period in the Premier League. One of the best young players.
And my friends were reminding me that they would say, "Yeah, he's not going to last at Tottenham long because my Real Madrid fan. Oh yeah, we're going to take him because he was playing all world." So for me with Brennan Johnson, I find it, and I like to talk to neutrals, right? Because they'll be honest with you. We'll take Dele Alli, we'll take Harry Kane, we'll take our son. But our fan base feels that, right? They want me to apologize that I don't think Johnson's world class. I haven't even said Saka is world class. If I haven't said that Saka is not world class, you expect me to say Brennan Johnson is? And you want me to apologize for criticizing him? Matter of fact, that's good. He took the criticism well, right? Because no one likes abuse, right? And that should never happen. But talk about true criticism, right? He's taking it and he's on good form. He's playing better. But is he that talent? Going back to Salva's point, is he that talent that's going to win you the league, or was going to win you the Champions League? Is he that top 4 echelon talent that you will compare the Venetians in the world, the Sakas in the world?
Murray.
Is he that player? And I honestly don't think so. He's good. He's serviceable. Right, my friend.
We'll go on to Johnson in a minute because I want to keep this on the Gray thing, right? Look, I get what you say about Gray and how you've linked it back to Levy being involved with transfers. Dan, you've heard you heard the debate between Sava and Ian, and by the way, that was a good debate because if you look at the comments, they're split. They're totally split on this one, which means it's a conversation that needs to be had because fans don't know where they're at with it. You've heard what Murray has to say on it. What's your take on it? Because the one thing I will say, we do have a manager that said all transfers are on me. And we do have a manager that picks the starting 11 and sets the tactics up and what players should play in what position for the tactics. So do you think the club have done the right thing bringing in Gray for the price they've paid and not loaning him out? Do you think the manager's doing the right thing? Where are you at with Archie Gray?
I mean, it just comes down to this thing. Just because you say he's not ready yet, a lot of people will jump off their high horse and take offence to it like you're slating the player or something. Okay, if I turn round, and I will only drift this for 2 seconds, and say Brennan Johnson's shit, then take it as in, no, he's not shit, and have a debate with me, and he's just gone and scored 5 goals. Fair play to the boy. He's grown a pair. He's got my respect. But with Gray, I personally just feel it was 40 million wasted. Some say, okay, it was 30 million for him and Roden. Fine. We could have sold Roden for 10, 12 million. So call it 40 million, yeah? Because I felt we needed players for now, not players for that could, not will, could be good in 2 years, 1 year by the end of this season. Nobody can sit here and tell me he will be good. Nobody. You can only tell me you think he will be good. You hope he will be good. You can hope with any player you buy, but there's certain players that you go and buy when you've seen them do 3-4 years straight in the Premiership. It's a bit more than hope you've got for them. I feel sorry for him in a big, big way. That 40 million, he's going to get judged. Same as Johnson on 50 million. You're going to get judged. Like it or lump it. Deal with it. It's part of the job. If you can't handle it, you're in the wrong bloody job. And he's getting played out of position. He's not a left back. He's not a centre back. And to me, he doesn't even look good in a right back. Yet everyone's telling me he's a central defensive midfielder or a CM. But he's never going to get a game now. Not over the players we've got, unless we've got severe injuries or it's some little cut. Even in a smaller team we're playing like today as such, he still doesn't even get a look in his main position. He's going to get no game time whatsoever, bar 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and maybe if we get Leighton Orient in the bloody one of the cups or something, he might come on. How is that poor fella going to progress? No, you cannot tell me he will come good. You can tell me you think he will come good. You cannot state a fact of someone is going to score 20 goals a season. You can say you think they are. You cannot tell me that Archie Gray will be good. You hope he will be good, same as I do, same as everybody does. It's a chance buy. And 40 million on him, the spotlight's on him, whether he likes it or not. It's going to be. And you're going to get people question it, because I personally think that money should have gone elsewhere, on someone ready for now. Someone who could walk into that team now. Someone who could challenge for that first team now. And he's just not that player yet. I think he will come good. But I use that word think first. Not he will. I think he will be good. But I don't think he's going to be ready for a season or two. I think he should have gone back to Leeds for another season and spent that there. But then we've gone and spent 40 million on him. So if we've gone and spent 40 million on a player, doesn't that mean he's ready to play? Or shouldn't he be ready to play for 40 million? I mean, bloody hell. So where do we go with this? It is a bit of a catch in the middle. No one has sat here and said he's crap. Nobody. As all everybody has stated, basically the same thing. Urian, Sava, all of us, basically, even though we agree a bit in a different way, is he's just not quite ready yet, and it's going to take him some time. So he should be out on loan, like Arsenal did with Saliba. They bought him for 20 mil. They loaned him out for 2 seasons. He came back minted, mate. He came back like quality. And that's what we should be doing with young players like that. Not dropping them right in the middle of it. So the process is all on them, basically, to cover when the shit hits the fan, basically.
Dan, do you not think that the process of bringing in good kids is correct? But where the transfer policy has gone wrong this summer is that they should be adding and bringing in established players as well as the kids. It shouldn't be one or the other. It should be both.
Oh, yeah. No, it should be both. Yeah, but I should be able to leave my car door open out there, but I can't. So
no.
Reality in that aspect. No, what I'm saying is you're right. What should be and what is are 2 different things in the world. Yeah, I should be able to leave my front door open, but I bloody can't. Tottenham should be doing exactly what you said, but we know they bloody don't. So there's no point on going with the should, because we both know you're right. You're right.
That's the issue, not the fact that they've spent X amount on 3 kids or 4 kids.
Yeah,
they should have been buying 3 or 4 established players as well.
That is basically what everyone is arguing. And the fact is, we know they don't. Let me say the last bit there. We know they don't.
Can I say something?
They should.
If you buy established players, which I think we should only be doing, by the way, then that's even less game times for the youngsters. That's even less game time for them, because now you're filling up the existing spots with proven players. The issue we've got at Spurs is we if you're going to buy a youngster, get one that's top draw. Get one that's oven ready, or bring one through the academy that we can see is ready to go, like Mikey Moore. What we've done is we've taken lots of punts. Punt. And as Spurs fans, because we're passionate about the club and want the club to be the best, we're like, they're all brilliant. They're all going to be good, or we think they're all going to turn out good. The reality is no one has a fucking clue how they're going to turn out, because unless they get regular minutes and they play 10, 15, 20 games in a row so we can really gauge it, none of us know. But what you can see is when a player does come on, is there enough you'd say, I can see something there? With Mikey Moore, every fan's in agreement. Not one fan has criticised or questioned this kid. Not one. Why is that? Yet with Gray, we've got a question. Huh?
This boy is top draw.
Right. So, Ian, that's my point. So, if we're going to bring in youngsters or develop or sign, if we're going to sign them in, then they've got to be that level. And what we're seeing from Bergvall and Gray at the moment doesn't suggest that. And there's one comment I just wanted to jump on. It's James Hunter who says, "When have Loney's ever worked out?" James, you might have heard of a player called Harry Kane, one of the best players that's ever played for Spurs. He went on loan for a couple of years.
Saliba.
I mean, Harry Kane was a pretty good success.
Danny Rose, Carl Walker.
When it came to him, what we should have done, because Ian's 100% right on what he's saying, the way we should do it. But like I said, I should be able to leave my door open. I should be able to sleep with my window open. I live in a bungalow, but I bloody can't because someone will come climbing through it, and then I'll have to get arrested because of what I do to him. And that's just life. Deal with it. That's just Spurs. Deal with it. That's how it is. And we should have put him on loan back to Leeds for a season where he was established at Leeds, knew what he was doing at Leeds, where he was happy at Leeds, knew where he was, and get another season of progress there. Whereas we've literally gone, when you buy someone for 40 million, you expect them to be ready. Barcelona or Real Madrid do not go and buy a youngster for 40 million and then not play. They go and buy a youngster for 40 million, 60 million. He's on that pitch within a week, 9 times out of 10.
Can I ask Ian a question? Ian, do you, and then we'll bring Mr. Box Office because he's come to join us. Ian, do you believe that Spurs in the Premier League, not because we're not even doing it in the Carabao Cup or in Europe, so I don't think they will, but do you think they're going to give him minutes this season in the number 6 role in the Premier League?
Personally, I doubt it. Based on what I've seen so far, I doubt it. I don't understand. Personally, listen, they obviously rated him further forward than all the guys that they sent out on loan because they kept him at the club. They brought him in and they kept him rather than bringing him in. Yeah, so they rate him ahead of Abba, ahead of Devine, ahead of Donnelly, ahead of, I mean, they've loaned about
or they had to justify the money spent.
That one.
Again, that's quite possible as well. But do we then bring everything down to what a player costs? I'd rather look at a situation and say, personally, I don't care what a player costs as long as he's good enough for our team. Don't care if he costs 80 million or 5 million. It's no difference to me, but as a fan, I want the best players in my first team. So why are do we have to judge a player on his fee rather than his ability?
You just said you could have gone on another player.
You just said you want the best player on the first team. Is he the best player out there we could have bought for 40 million?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you that. I haven't seen enough players out there.
Ian, you do know for 40 million you are getting much. Look how much AC Milan just played for Kone. Roma played for Kone. How much Juve played for Thuram. Sorry, I'm a bit tired, but you know what I mean. Kone went, Thuram went, Sule went. All of these players went for like half the fee in some cases of Archie Gray. And again,
I haven't seen these players, Sav, so I can't comment on them. I'll take your word for it, though.
But Ian, these are all footballers that have played in top leagues around the world, going for those fees. Archie Gray's had 1 year in the Championship. We've paid 40 million, and the fact that you've just argued yourself that you can't see him getting minutes in his own position, that's fine.
I think it's very wrong, Sav.
I know you do.
Very wrong.
In 2 years, this guy, I'm not arguing that this time next year or in 2 years, this guy couldn't be amazing. But my point is, when are we ever going to do it for now? Like if your transfer budget is 300 million and you go and buy loads of players at 40, 50 million, they're not all going to start. I get it. But when your second biggest transfer of the year and one of your biggest signings of all time, Spurs, I mean, we've had a few 60s or whatever. When that boy comes in and is 7th in the pecking, you have to ask. You've got to ask questions as to who signed him. Did the club sign him? Did Ange sign him? Because at the moment, it looks like Ange is shoehorning him into positions rather than playing players that have grown up playing in those positions all their lives. So it almost feels to me like he's left Jed Spence out of a European competition just to shoehorn his £40 million player who isn't a right back. He sent out Ashley Phillips to shoehorn in Archie Gray, who isn't a centre back. It just all seems so backwards. And I'm not, again, I'll reiterate because I know people won't listen. I'm not saying, Ian, that this boy can't be special one day. I personally haven't seen anything in him where I go, yeah, I haven't. I'm sorry. I know people want to say it. I've not seen it yet. I think he just looks like another kid who looks comfortable on the ball at times, but nowhere near ready for Tottenham Hotspur. I watched Southampton the other day. I don't know if any of you have seen Southampton play this season. They've got an 18-year-old kid called Tyler Dibbling.
Dibbling, yeah.
Right? I watched him play and I went, you can play. Straight away. His footwork, his bravery, getting on the ball. You can play. They're bringing him through the youth team. We're going and spending 40 million on a kid who I don't think looks as good as that Dibbling. I don't think he looks as good as most of the 18-year-olds I've seen coming on for other Premier League clubs. But we spent £40 million of our transfer budget. That's my concern. So when people are going, it's not your money, it's not my money. But that's where my club, so I know it's everyone's club, do you know what I mean? That's where our club decided that our transfer budget was going to go. So when people in the chat go, oh, it's not your money, what do you care what was spent? Well, I care what was spent because for 40 million, every one of us in here could go out around the world and bring back players better that are ready to play in the first team right now. But our scouts went for Archie Gray. And if you bring him in, I suppose my overarching point is this, Ian. If you're going to bring him in, play him.
Absolutely.
Play him in his position.
Yeah, that is everyone's frustration, Ian. That is everyone's frustration.
He should be played.
But he's not going to be.
Because Basuma and Sarr are not that good. They're not that high level consistent.
But they're much better than him.
They're light years
ahead of him, Ian.
We don't know.
Basuma is... Do you remember we had the debate on your show still the other week? We had the debate on your show still the other week. It might have been before the season started, where people were going, we don't know if Basuma and Sarr are better than this player. We bloody do. We really bloody do know. He's not at their level.
I don't understand how there are fans, not you guys, but there are fans, and there's loads of them, who think Archie Gray's mustard, but if he's mustard, he's not playing. Then you've got to criticise the manager. But Ange is great. Well, if he's great, why isn't he playing the best player in that position? If Gray's better than Basuma and he's better than Pape Sarr, then the manager not selecting him means that the manager's a problem. But you can't say that because Ange is great. So then,
but he's not better, is he? Still, he's not better.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
Frustrating as he is, he's 10 times the player right now that Archie Gray is, and costs 25 million.
If we went into a big Premier League game tomorrow, right? We've got, like, for example, we've got Aston Villa coming up soon. If you said to me, Basuma or Bentancur or Gray to play in that midfield, I'm picking both Basuma and Bentancur ahead of Gray. All day long, I will. Because I know what they can do.
Exactly.
I know what they can do.
No, I agree. Still, I agree with you.
Gray, I don't know.
My point is, feed him in, give him 20 minutes in a Premier League game in his position. I'm not saying start him in front of playing, and I've said all along, feed these kids in, give them time.
But don't you think if he was good enough, Andrew would have done that by now? Because he's done it with other youngsters. He's given last game, Man United were 3-0 up, 20 minutes to go. He brought on Bergvall and he brought on Mikey Moore. Why didn't he bring on Gray into the number 6?
Didn't need him at that.
The point, you said feed the minutes, right? Hold on, you said feed the minutes. There's your chance. You're 3-0 up. Man United are down to 10 men. It's game over. Why not bring him on in that 6 role still? Why not? That means he doesn't think he's a 6. I don't think Ange thinks he's a 6, Ian. I really
I
don't.
think you're right. I think you're right.
Because
I
you played him
think you're
centre back.
right.
You played him centre back all pre-season. You played him centre back during pre-season.
I know.
It's the frustration with everything of the fact that he did cost 40 million, so he is going to watch. No, it's not our money, but a lot of us agree that 40 million should have been spent on a player elsewhere who is ready now. It's not that no one wants to give him a chance. It's not that no one's slating saying he's shit. It's not that saying no one's ever saying he won't be good. I think a lot of us are just agreeing that he doesn't look quite ready now. I'm just answering this one, basically.
Yeah, but it's not us who needs to give him a chance. It's the manager. Speak to your manager.
Right? He's not going to get game time that he needs in his positions. So the poor fella ain't going to progress in his position because he's got about 6 or 7 people that will get picked in front of him unless it's a game against Leyton Orient or something. So how's he going to progress? He's just going to end up coming back. And one thing I agree with what Sava said, Mikey Moore come on today and totally cooked the game. Archie Gray come on and he didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have a good game, but he was played out of position, the poor fella.
Yeah.
And so how's he going to progress? It's the frustration of it. It's not that nobody got an issue with him and that. People have got an issue with 40 million and he's not getting bloody played. 40 million and he's just going to be sitting on the bench if he's lucky most of the time.
I've got an issue with Ange Postecoglou, Dan. My issue is with Ange Postecoglou here.
40 million,
that's where my
issue is. He's going to be played out of position.
And my family's going to get cussed tomorrow morning on social media for saying that, by the way. But I still blame Ange Postecoglou.
And the thing is, I mean, in this place, when you look at them, you can tell that, oh man, they're going to be a player. You look at Aston Villa's Duran. No, he scored yesterday.
How good is he, man? What a signing he is.
Oh my goodness! And he's young. He's like 20 years old.
Is he Colombian? Is he Colombian?
From MLS, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, mate, he's the new Tito Asprilian, man. He's the new Asprilian.
That's Villa scouting. You look at this kid and you're like, oh, he's not going to be at Villa for long. I mean, the kid.
Or Watkins won't be the starting striker.
You say that, but Emery could do some damage and win some trophies with Villa, and players might want to go there, you know.
That's true. That's true.
Another club, I was told that they didn't have a good transfer window. Look at them.
Yeah, I don't know who told you that they had brilliant transfer windows.
Michael, most of our fan base in comment sections. Oh, look at them! They've had to sell their 2 best players. Doesn't seem to be doing them much harm, does it?
I mean, Bailey. By the way, Bailey was doing a better job than Diaby have for most of the previous season. But that's
Michael. Why do you always look like you're falling off the screen?
No, I mean my pajamas, so I don't want to.
He's like down. He's like this.
You know, I have this like, I don't know how to call it, like a shelf under the desk, right? And I keep my legs on it.
Like Adrian,
and it automatically means that I slide down the chair the longer I sit, right? So that's why I'm often, quite low in the camera. You're right.
It's funny. Alex, let me bring you in. Quick super chat from Jamie Allen. Big up, Jamie. Thank you. He says Gray is a highly rated England hench. It's why he gets called up for England's under 21s. We just need to be patient and stop judging him after 2 months. This is more on Ange for his selections. Right, Jamie, we're not judging him, but yes, it's on Ange. I agree with that bit, but we're not judging him. We're questioning the motive and trying to understand why we signed him if he's not going to get minutes and play in his natural position. Ian says he
nobody here said we want to sell him, right? But I think some of the chat are reacting as if we said that he's shit and we should bin him, right? That's not the point, right? That's not the point. We want to
because we're not allowed to question anything. That's why. Because we question
we want to find a way to best nurture his talent, right? We want to find a way to best nurture his talent so that he is a star for us, right? Nobody here wants to, damage his career and waste his potential, whatever, right? It's like
I love this. The fan base are going to ruin him because we pick the team. We tell him where to play. Yeah, we're in charge, right? Alex, how you doing? I never know what you're going to talk about, but just go for it.
I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't really watch that much of the game. What's the highlights? It was okay. It was okay. We got the result. We move on. I'm sitting here and I'm just sitting there thinking, this is why we don't win nothing, because we get too emotional. We get way too emotional about players. Like Archie Gray, like he's not ready. Get over it. Johnson, he scored a goal. Get over it. Yeah, cool. I don't like him. I'm not bothered about him. I'd rather have the Bournemouth winger all day long because he gets me off my seat. Simple. Because I'm a Ginola guy. Yeah. I'm a Bell guy. Yeah. I'm a guy that, like players that get past their players, and that's it. Yes, he's on good form, Johnson, but like the whole thing, I heard it from Michael on Dan's channel. Oh, I don't understand why we've got this narrative against these players and everything else and all that because we won against Manchester United and everything else. I'm like, get over it, for goodness sake. Honestly, I've seen this before. Get over it. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's like the whole thing. Yes, we've had 6 games. 6 games. We've now started winning games now, and now all positive brigades are starting going off on us, saying, "Oh, we need to give us all credit." What about the last 23 years, bro? You know what I mean? It's just pathetic.
That's
I'm
another
fed up
story,
of it.
Alex.
I'm fed up of it, bro. I'm sorry, no, but Ian, I'm fed up of it. I'm not getting any younger. Thank goodness I went to gym, bruv. Thank goodness I went to gym, bruv. I didn't even watch that rubbish because I know exactly how it is every single time.
Alex,
You know what I mean?
we're talking about an individual game. We're talking on a micro basis. You're talking on a macro basis. That's another.
No, I
subject.
don't know. I'm talking
That's
about
another
I'm talking about
subject
this game as
altogether.
well. But it's just I've seen the same thing. I've literally just come on the stream now today, and I'm seeing the same old rubbish that I've heard the last couple of weeks.
Do you not
And
think 24 years is another? It's that's the big picture. This.
And then I have to have stats in front of me saying, "Oh, these players are looking good and everything else." And I'm sitting there saying, "I don't give a monkeys about stats because I've watched the bloody game. Because if I didn't want to watch the bloody game, we'd watch like football in the first place." You know what I mean? This is what we're saying to, and this is why we say this football's boring, because it's just all I get is all rubbish about stats and all this rubbish, and it's all it is that yes, we're doing okay right now, but do it again. Do it again. You see what I'm saying? Because I've seen these results before.
But Johnson at the moment, Alex, deserves a lot of credit for what he's done.
Give him Blue Peter badge then, Dan. Do it again then, bro. Because I don't like him still. I still don't rate him as a player.
Okay.
That's it. Simple. It don't need any more conversation than that, isn't it? But it's just like, no, you have to give him credit because he's a top player and everything else. Oh yeah, great. What I say is, yeah. If we do, I'm not. Mr. Box Office, Mr. Box Office, having a personality. Dan. It's me expressing myself.
Come on, man, calm down.
Get it right. No, get it right. Don't start me saying I need to calm down. Yeah. I'm saying my piece and that's it. Yes. Stop saying that because you're gonna do what other people do. Yeah, and I don't like that. My point is, right. I'm fed up with people saying that as well. Get over it, for goodness sake. My point is, right. Is that
you say it at the beginning?
We just need to just calm down here a little bit here. You know what I mean? I'm saying at the moment, right, we're doing okay, right? Johnson's doing good. I still don't rate the player. Get over it.
What does he have
he's got to do a little bit more.
Alex, what does he have to do?
I don't know, boy, but at the moment, I'm not seeing it at the moment. I'm not rating him at the moment, bro. I like Poro more.
Alex, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? And I'm speaking quietly because people are asleep. So before people go, "Oh, you're different tonight, Sava," that I've seen in the chat, right? Alex, I'll tell you how I feel about Johnson. Tell me if you feel the same. I'll see if I can put it into words. For me, I don't enjoy Brennan Johnson as a footballer. Doesn't mean I can't say that he's in good goal scoring form. Doesn't mean I can't say he's not finishing really, really well. For me, I think when he moves inside and gets shots away, that's his game. And fair play to Ange for getting that bit of his game getting more into game. For me, I think a lot of the problem is Ange has played him all his Spurs career on the right, and he's not a right winger. So for me, when I watch a right winger, he's not what I like to watch. I like, for lack of if we're keeping it Spurs, I like to watch the Mikey Moores running at people, right? I like to watch people like Mohamed Kudus get the ball, run at people, drop a
The
shoulder.
Bournemouth winger you're talking
And
about. Sorry to interrupt you.
Semenyo, right? Wingers
Semenyo,
like
that's
that.
it.
I think the problem is, do I rate Brennan Johnson as a footballer?
No.
Not particularly. Can I acknowledge that he's in great form, goal scoring wise? Yes. So I think when people keep saying things to people like me and you, like, Johnson's in great form, Johnson's proved everyone wrong, it all depends on what you want. For me, I'm seeing a bloke in good form. He's scoring goals, a lot of them against clubs that a £50 million player should be scoring goals against. But I'm not knocking him. He's doing his job. Do I enjoy watching him? Do I get excited when he gets the ball? No. But he is doing a job. The problem is we're doing that thing again as fans, what we do. A player has a purple patch, and we don't know whether it's going to be full-on form or whether it is a purple patch. And straight away, what we've done is elevated him from here to there and told everyone else that he's amazing. If he drops off again now, people will start making excuses. For me, as I always say, let's see what a player does over a year, 2 years of form. And for me, Stell will back this. I know he will. I want to see Brennan Johnson, when he's playing the better teams, do what he's doing right now. Coventry, Karabag, Ferencvarosi, Brentford, brilliant, but now go and do it against Villa, Liverpool, Arsenal. Where was it? Do you know what I mean? Arsenal, Newcastle, where was this guy? That's the difference for me. Before we start praising people, I remember Bergwijn having 2 or 3 games where he scored.
Point.
I remember Richarlison last season. He had 4 or 5 games where he scored. Now I'm being told he's deadwood and we needed Solanke. So fans get a bit excited. But at the same time, we have to be able to, Alex, compliment a player, even if we don't vote them and say give credit where it's due.
But Saba, I have said it though. It's just that because I only say it a short little bit, yeah, I say it a little bit. It's like, well, you got to praise him even more, and that's where I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's like I said, he looks good. That's all you're getting from me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go over the top like some people say. Oh, I need to give him flowers, bro. Like, okay, cool. You done well, but now you do much more now. You know what I mean? You know, just keep it going. Make me more even in the mud then. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's just that what I don't do is saying, oh, I need to give him credit. Because if you were big enough to give him criticism, you got big enough to give him credit. I've seen people in the past, in loads of other things in life, yeah, they're like saying to you, well, yeah, good, you're doing well, but you got to do better. You know what I mean? You see coaches, they'll be hard on you. They'll say to you, oh, you done well, but you've got to do better, son. You know what I mean? Because, you know, the next man is thinking about taking your place, bro. You know what I mean? And
Alex,
that guy's going to come into your place.
It is half the problem for you, mate, that as a fan base, we've got no middle ground. So the moment Brennan Johnson scores a goal, on my live stream today during the game, I've got loads of people that come in and go, gutted Sava. Like I don't
You're in the mud.
Like I don't want him to score goals. That's what makes me go against players more than I should, if I'm honest.
Well,
it's when people can't turn around and say, Carl, what do you think? They have to go, oh, you're in the mud. But look, I'll ask this question and then I need to jump. Thanks for having me. My voice is going all hoarse. If I sat here and said to all of you now, name me 3 positions in the team where Spurs need to strengthen if they wanted to win the league.
Forwards.
Right?
Forwards.
Forwards and midfield.
All of you, bar no one, would choose a right-sided forward. I don't care who you are. All of you, any of you can tell me if I'm wrong. Everyone will pick that. That for me is, okay, Johnson's okay. Johnson grabbed some goals. But in those big games, he's not giving any fullback a tough game. He's not. So, brilliant. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep scoring those goals. Brilliant. I'm not knocking him. But he's just not what I consider. Look, Ian, you've seen them down the lane. You've seen the Ginolas. You've seen the Bales. You've seen the Chris Waddles.
Well,
the conversation we had the other day, wasn't it? Those three I mentioned
Right.
are top players. You can't put Johnson in the same breath as in the same, you can't compare him to those players. But Bale started somewhere at Spurs. Well, so maybe at the end of this season, Sav, maybe Johnson will come good the way Gordon came good in his second year last year at Newcastle. They were slating him at the end of his first season, and everyone loved him at the end of last. Let's see. At the end of the day, none of us know. All of us want these boys to do well. All of us. We all want them to be fantastic because we're Spurs fans, and I think a lot of the frustration, a lot of the arguments that we had is because of the lack of success. We've been starved of success,
Of course,
for so long, and I think that if we had won even a handful of trophies over the last 16, call it 24 years that they've been here, if we'd have won 5 or 6 trophies, I don't think the fan base would be the way they are today.
I think. Can I just say something?
I just want to answer Ian's point as I'm moving from the screen and leaving.
Go on.
Otherwise I'm going to get divorced. I think the difference is players like Anthony Gordon, players like Gareth Bale, for example, you could see they had something in their game. Now, Brennan Johnson's game is finishing. It's down to Ange to make sure he can keep getting him in those positions against the bigger teams. For me, the Gordons, the Bales, and I'm not putting those two on the same level, but you could see they were exciting. Like Mikey Moore.
Well, they're improving each other. They're improving each other and they're doing
he's
better.
Exciting. Brennan Johnson, for me, I'll ask this question. Outside of his goals, what does he do in a game of football?
He's doing the same thing he's doing at Nottingham Forest. That's the problem I'm making. That's the point I'm making. He's going back to do what he's doing at Nottingham Forest. You get what I'm saying?
Didn't he, Alex?
That's the point I'm making. And by the way, when people keep on saying I'm angry, just get over yourselves, because I know where Dan got that from. By the way, yeah, and it's getting on my nerves. So just stop it. Just stop it. Yeah, it's the way I speak. Yeah,
Alex.
Yeah, no, having to go at Dan, by the way, because I know where it's come from. I know that didn't come from Dan. But the point I'm making is anyway. Let's move on from that anyway.
First of all, I want to say
the point is anyway. Yeah. Is that I'm just getting a bit tired of the same old thing, right? Hearing the same old rubbish from people saying we need to think the way that they're thinking. At the end of the day, I'm not expecting a lot from this team because I don't rate the squad. So I'm not expecting too much from this squad at the moment. I'm not sitting here saying we're going to do anything with this squad at the moment. Yes, we're doing okay at the moment, but I still think there are still tests at the moment because I still think we're getting lucky in certain aspects, especially also like Manchester United as well, because at the end of the day, yes, we did well, but at the same time, that was not a very good Manchester United team. You know what I mean? And I just think we just had to see how it is, and that's it.
They were poor, and we made them look shit.
Well, I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both. We have to agree to disagree.
And Johnson's been playing, and Johnson has actually been playing games well lately, not just 10 minutes. And I'm one of his biggest critics. You got to give credit where credit is due.
No. I disagree with that one. I disagree with that one.
Fair enough.
Because for me, there has to. He has to. For me, right? He doesn't. I don't rate him still. Yeah, good on him. He's on the purple patch at the moment, but for me, I've got to see more.
No, I agree. But I'm saying
I think he's still doing the same thing at Nottingham Forest. And I think Ange's got the wrong decision. Made the wrong decision. Think he's a winger when he should be just an inside forward. Basically, playing him inside forward is making him look good, and also Solanke's helped him out as well. Let's be honest.
Of course,
you know what I mean,
of course.
And I even say as well, Kulu. He's doing the same thing. You're not going to like this one, Dan. I think he's still doing this. I think he's doing the same thing like he's doing at Parma. I've watched him back at Parma. I've looked at highlights at Parma. He's doing the same thing.
I watched him at Juventus as well.
Okay,
he was a lot better when they played him there.
I'll just go quickly, just give my thoughts, and then I'm going to shut up. First, I want to say good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Had a good evening. I want to say that actually I was happier with this game. I was happy to see Mikey Moore. I've seen more than Werner ever did at Tottenham. Werner is one of the worst players I've seen at Spurs. One of the worst signing, arguably, hands down. When I saw Gray at centre back, I didn't get it personally. I was like, that's the one of the stupidest decisions I've ever seen in my life. And I feel bad for the kid, and I know Ian loves him, but I want to see him in midfield in the future. I don't want to see him as center back. Bergvara wasn't impressed with him today. Wasn't good, didn't do much, slipped a lot. And like I said, Sarr scored, I'll give him that. Vicario played really well. Good goalkeeping in general. And whoever is their Spurs admin should be sacked immediately after posting the Ronaldo with the Brennan Johnson picture. What an absolute disgrace. No, that's a disgrace to football, honestly. When I saw that, I'm like, nah, he should be sacked. That's a sackable offense.
DJX, let me ask you a question. Do you think they meant that, or do you think they were bantering?
No, they mean it. Honestly, it's all PR. You can tell it's PR. Now that he scored 5 goals out of 5 games, it's all about PR.
Because I purposely didn't put up the comment that you replied to Tottenham Hotspur on that you posted as well. I saw your comment. I haven't posted.
No, but like, you put a legend's face. No, you put Brennan's face on a legend. You're talking about R9.
I personally laughed at it. I just
No, I didn't laugh at it. It wasn't funny. It's a sackable move. That's all I gotta say. But I'm happy we won. How many games in a row? 5 games. Now we're on a good run against
5 in a row, yeah.
Yeah, 5 wins. We're gonna play Brighton. Probably gonna win this game too. And I want to see Mikey more if Son is not fit. I don't want to see Werner ever play on the Spurs shirt.
Do you think there's a big case, Dietrich? And I'll ask everyone. Do you think there's a big case? Because Brighton is this is a tough game. They're above us in the league. They've been playing good football. They play similar to us. I did this formation of how I think the game's going to look on Sunday. Just everyone on the halfway line, basically, because that's how they play as well.
But is that under the new managers still, by the way?
Yeah, under the new manager, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw Chelsea Brighton last week. It was just bonkers. It's just insane. Oh, yeah. Everyone plays out from the back. Everyone presses high. It's just mental. Anyway, do you think, even though it is a big game, man, it is. Do you think there's a strong case now to say that the starting team, the front three against Brighton, should be Johnson, Solanke, and Mikey Moore?
Yes. As much as I don't like it on paper, this is our best front line at the moment in form. If we're talking about in form,
do you think Mikey Moore's ready for a game like this, though?
Mikey Moore is he's more than ready to play this game. I know he's young.
Playing against the Hungarian Farmers League team and coming on when you're 3-0 up at Old Trafford against 10 men.
But look,
the same as against Brighton.
But look at the difference.
Just asking a question.
Do you know how many times? Do you know how many times he got tackled, and even some silly fouls he got on him, and even on Hungarian, it was more hostile environment than Brighton. I think he's more than ready. He showed it. Yeah. He played a full 90 minutes and played well.
I'm not talking about the hostility. I'm talking about the level of opposition.
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah. I don't see. It's a big game.
Mate, I'm just asking.
No. I'm saying we played. It's still we played a Europa League team. That's a big achievement. If you're ready for that game, then you should be ready in the Premier League, by definition.
Well, by definition, Aston Villa played that, and I've never really seen this fella before. That Tim Irigaban,
he played the whole city
against Bayern Munich. What a performance he put in! I'm not saying Mikey Moore will do that. I'm just saying, by definition, they've proven that point wrong. Right? He can go in there and play.
And just to answer Scott M. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying necessarily I agree we should start him. I'm just saying if the defence is he's too young and he's only played against Ferencvarosi, then actually that fella from Aston Villa last night was probably one of the man of matches against Bayern Munich. I'm not saying it works that way. I'm just saying there's an example there that did work.
Yeah. And I'm just saying if Son is not ready, then I will play more. That's all.
I agree.
And I don't know if you've covered this still, but the Farmers League, Ferencvarosi is a bit harsh. We're the first English team to beat them on their ground since Don Revie's Leeds. That's football heritage.
There you go. There you go. Listen, we are playing royalty. We played royalty.
Wait, they are no mugs. They're not carrier bag.
No, they're not bad. They're not bad.
Actually, do you know what? I'll bring it up. Let's see if I can share it with you guys. Can I share it? Yes, I can. Good. So if you look at the league table, whoops, let's make it bigger. Oh, wrong one.
Do we qualify for Europe if we get top 4?
Top 8. Yeah. So if you look at the league table, the bottom
Bless
team in the bottom 6 are Karabag and Ferencvarosi. So they're not doing great at the moment. But the good news is at the top, we are third, joint with Lazio, Lyon, FCSB, and Anderlecht. We seem to be the only team with a 100% winning record. So we're off to a good start. We're off to a good start. Can't complain.
I was just disappointed we conceded that goal.
We did get lucky against Karabag, though. To be honest with you,
we got lucky. Yeah, but to be fair, that goal was coming from Ferencvarosi. Do you know what I felt? I felt like the amount of times they got in behind us, it just reminded me of Karabag all over again. Another team that can't finish, another team that doesn't have the quality in the front three. If they like Coventry did the same to us. If these teams had anything about them up front, Spurs are in trouble. But
did you?
It's not convinced
by us.
Did you guys?
It's not.
Did you guys feel
Stelios, I'm not convinced by us, Stelios. I'm still not convinced by us.
Nobody's convinced, Alex. But
we're
winning. But we're winning games. We're winning games. That's the most important.
Listen, I think it's a sad indictment that, and again, it's nothing against Mikey Moore. It's a sad indictment that we're having to play a 17-year-old, right? And then because now we're going to have to be very careful with him. You know what I mean? Because you can't say anything because he's a young kid. And
why is it a sad indictment, Alex?
It shows that we just haven't put the quality in front of him for him.
Alex, City plays 16-year-olds.
I was going to say when Wayne Rooney came on as a 16-year-old, was that a sad indictment for Everton?
It's actually a good thing that they're playing at 17.
I know,
it's
but
a good thing.
It just for me, I just think it's just. I just don't think it's.
It's a good thing.
Just for me, 17 years old is just very, very young for me. I think you don't know anything in life in that.
If he's ready, if he's ready to play,
Man City,
he might be ready in football, but he isn't in life. And I think for me,
it doesn't matter.
But he's not a life coach. He's a footballer.
It's not Disneyland.
Yeah.
Exactly, Alex.
Like, for me,
I don't care whether he's been late. I don't care whether he's lost it or not yet. As long as he goes and plays football and he's good at it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, but but the thing is, though, it's cool that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I just think. Just for me, like, okay, if he does well, he does well. But the thing is, though, we all know where that goes, doesn't we? Do we? We all know where that goes.
Do you think he's better than Werner, Alex? Is he better than Timo Werner?
Oh yeah, he's obviously better than Timo Werner.
Then surely he's ready.
So he's ready.
Yeah, he's ready. But the point I'm making is, though, right? We're talking about a 17 years old. Yeah, right. It's all right playing a 17 years old, but you have somebody who shows a little bit more quality. It's more established. Who's doing the business, right? So he can learn off him as well. You get what I'm saying?
But he learned.
He's got it. Yeah, but at 17,
he's learning from Son.
You haven't learned life.
But you learned from Son.
I don't care what
Madison.
You have Son in front of you, one of the best wingers.
You're telling me that you trust Madison and Bentancur? I don't.
He has Son.
He
has one. Son can teach.
I don't trust.
Madison won an FA Cup with Leicester City, played for England.
Romero won the World
Cup. Juventus, one of the biggest teams, if not the biggest in Italy.
Yeah, but do you think since he's been at Tottenham,
international,
he's
an
since
international.
He's been at Tottenham, I'm sorry, I'm going to just bang this on. I'm going to bang this drum all day long. I'm sorry, I don't trust Bentancur. Yeah, he had one good game against Manchester United, right?
No, but I trust him to teach Mikey Moore, though. I trust him to teach a younger player.
But you just said you wanted players to teach, and we're giving you examples, then you change the narrative.
No, I'm not changing the narrative, Dietrich.
Yeah,
I'm just saying at the moment, I don't trust the squad, Dietrich. How's that a narrative by saying this?
No, you just said you want.
Yeah, but again,
don't
try this lie detector rubbish from me, right? Trust me, I'm badass today, Bob. I'm not in the mood today. Trust me, bro.
Alex, hold on. I agree with Dietrich. You said there needs to be players at the club that can teach him. We gave you players that we think can teach him. You're saying you don't trust them. What, you don't trust them to teach Mikey Moore?
I don't trust them, no, because I don't think.
But they won in life.
The leader sort of
They are
model
leaders.
to do it. No, I don't.
They
I
won
don't.
won a Juve, won the biggest trophies.
So hold on. So who taught Wayne Rooney at Everton?
You tell me, because I can't remember. Who's it?
Players of Bentancur and Madison's levels.
I don't see it at
you.
the club, mate. I just don't see it at the club.
To him, though, to be fair, in the changing room.
He got you.
Alex, do you not think Sonny is qualified to mentor Mikey Moore?
He won a trophy with this country.
You not think so?
But why must we have a World Cup championship Messi be the one to teach Mikey Moore? That means no kid's ever going to come through the ranks unless there's like a god that plays in the team. We've got to trust that there's good senior players at Spurs. They might not be Premier League winners, but there's good senior players at Spurs that can teach a young lad. I'm convinced.
Can I just ask Alex, are you not excited that Mikey Moore's come through? He's 17 years old.
That's a different question. That's a different question.
He's got fabulous talent. I mean, just...
I see a little bit of a talent, Ian, but at the end of the day, I'm 37 years old. I'm not stupid.
So by
it takes time for me to. You have to see how it goes.
But Alex,
you know what I mean?
by your definition,
we all seen it before. We see Wonder Kids, and it's like, you know.
No, but are you not excited that someone's coming through? So,
well, yeah, you can be excited, yeah. But Ian, it's all well being excited though, Ian. Yeah, right. I see the quality, yeah, but then he's got to get through. He's got to come through, and at the end of the day,
we all agree with that.
Like,
I think we all agree.
So
with
I
that.
think it's just for me at the moment. And at the end of the day, you're seeing a guy, like I said, that has lost it with Tottenham since Pochettino left. So, like, for me, nothing's going through me at the moment. So
isn't
like
it win?
I've said it before, so I'm not changing.
Isn't it win-win for us? Like, if he does well, then we've got a great player that's come through our ranks, and if he doesn't do well, then we wish him good luck and farm him off to someone else.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, but we have to see
do we not
happens,
lose?
David. But we see what happens, David. Then. That's what I'm saying at the moment.
So
At the moment, David, I've got nothing to go on at the moment.
But my point to that point was we very rarely give youngsters a chance that come through the academy. And I think I'm touching on what Ian was just mentioning there, that isn't it good to see someone come through our academy? We'll give him a chance.
Well, great, yeah, that's great. It's like me having a good Christmas as well, mate. But
like I said before, Gareth Bale was crap for us.
Yeah, but like I said before, David, we'll see what happens when it comes through. I need to see it, David. There's no point in me sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, let's get excited about the future." Let's get excited about this. Let's get excited about that. Let's see what happens then, David.
Yeah, but the question
you can talk about right now.
17 years old. He's not. He's like at the moment. He's not like the other kid from Barcelona right now, winning trophies. By the way,
but you can compare
like that at the moment, isn't he?
But you cannot compare.
Let's get it right. Yes, he's got quality. Yes, but let's make it right.
But can I just go back to why he came up in the conversation?
Sonny's not playing on Sunday. Who are you starting, Werner or Mike Moore?
That's why the point came up.
Alex, who are you starting?
Well, yeah, but that's just I've put Mikey Moore, but that's a side indictment.
There you go.
Fact we got Timo Werner in when we should have got somebody better. Then that's what my point is. That's my point.
Or Alex, could it
because
be?
What was the point in getting Timo Werner if the kid's getting in front of him, for goodness sake?
Alex, can I flip this? Let me flip this. The fact we had Adebayor a mercenary and the fact we signed Soldado that couldn't hit a barn door, if we hadn't assigned them, Harry Kane wouldn't have got the chance he got. And then look what happened.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that was luck. That was luck. The fact that those players were shit or poor recruitment. Maybe, just maybe, that signing Timo Werner is the catalyst for Mikey Moore's career at Spurs that actually becomes something quite special for us. And like Dan said, if it doesn't work, we didn't pay a penny for him, ship him off 10, 15 million quid, whatever, job done.
Fair point, to be honest. I can't argue that one. I can't argue that one. Yeah, go on.
I did say earlier this evening.
That point was actually quite good. To be fair, I can't argue that one.
I just took Ian and Dan David's hard work, and just came to a conclusion.
But the logic, as I said earlier, Phil, the logic behind bringing Werner in for a year was to make sure that he goes at the end of the year and Mikey Moore comes through and Mikey Moore's pathway is not blocked. To me, that's the only logical reason for bringing Werner in again this year.
I thought we signed Werner. One, because we don't know what we're fucking doing, but two, because Yang is coming in January. The Korean kid.
Do you guys? I wanted to ask you still, like, what
We
and the
forgot
others.
about the Korean kid that's coming as well. Another one, you know.
I totally forgot we had him. Do you guys feel like Moore is a left winger or right winger? Do you feel like he's done better on the right or the left?
Dietrich, I think he can play as a 10 as well.
I think he can play multiple positions. Spurs Academy players are trained to play in multiple positions.
No, but which one do you think he will excel at?
I haven't seen enough of him, man. I can't.
No, I don't know. I mean, today he looked quality.
I'm talking about today.
Today he looked quality, even down to the way he took it past his player and just chipped the cross in, basically. It just looked like it was natural. He didn't have to look up. He didn't have to put... He just done it naturally. I don't know how to explain it.
Dan, do you know what it is? Shall I tell you what it is? Right, and I saw it with him pre-season, and I'm seeing it now. I'll tell you about Mikey Moore, and this is how I'm 9 out of 10 confident we've got a good player on our hands, and I hope they develop him right and they don't fuck it up like they did with Winks and Skip, because they fucked Winks and Skip. They fucked them too.
Edwards. Edwards
has an attitude problem there. He was in with the wrong crowd. Anyway, what I see with Mikey Moore is this. He looks, he sees it, there's a brain, and he's got the technical ability to pull off what he needs to do for what his brain's just seen. That's why it looks natural, because the brain, the intelligence, and the technique are aligned. That's why I think we've got a very good player.
No, I do agree with you. I do agree with you, Still. Yeah.
There's another thing with it as well. I think it's very rare you ever get to see this, and it's not getting all hyped up with it, whatever. I'm just going by what I saw today. That's the first time I've seen him play basically 90 minutes, Sometimes you can see some people can just do it. They've just got it, whatever it is. And then the next person next to him can train for the next 10 years and they will just never be as good as that other person at it who just trains very average. Some people have just got it. You can see the boy's got it. No one can say for a fact that he will come out world class, whatever else. Yes, it is hope and that, but I'd quite happily put some money on it. You can see he has got something naturally, not just trained as such. Whereas other players have to train hard to get what they're good at. Like Beckham, he couldn't kick a ball come last night. He had to train in his back garden over and over again to get it right. Obviously, he's got to train to get better. I get that. But I mean, some people you can just see when they've got something naturally.
I think most young kids.
Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I do. I think most young kids that get scouted though, between the ages of 6 till 9. I think Mikey Moore went in as a young kid. He didn't come in as a 12, 13-year-old. I need to check up on it. But most kids, in fact, all kids that get scouted at a young age, they've got something natural. It's whether that can be refined into something great. The coaching and the natural, we're at a place where we're excited about a player. But I still think with Mikey Moore, and this is where I do agree with you, Alex, we've got to wait and see now, because we don't want to, expect the next Wayne Rooney and we end up with another kind of
he's got catching up to do physically.
It's not that I disagree.
I think for a 17-year-old he's quite well built.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
He looks slight, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know when he came up to us after the Old Trafford game, because all the players came over to clap, he's actually bigger than what I thought. Ian, did you see that, or was it just me in my?
Do you look at 17-year-olds, boy?
No, we're outside already still. No. We saw it.
Stay to clap and I get the abuse.
It's not me that I'm saying. I'll say he's good. He's good. He looks good. He looks good. It's not that I don't say he don't look good. It's not that. Yeah. It's just that I just can't. I've been here so many times now. I'm just getting frustrated, and now it's
Alex, let me ask you, which player?
Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I don't see it. You know what I mean? It's not me having to go at David or Dan. You know what I mean? It's not that at all. You know what I mean? It's just that I'm just getting to the point where people are saying, "Oh, you need to give these people credit. You need to get excited. You need to do this. You need to do that," and it just gets really. It's just frustrating for me. It's just frustrating.
No, Alex, let me ask you this question.
I need time. I need to see it how it goes. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this question: which player did you see like the same let's say like we've been rating a lot that came out of the academy? Which player?
Sorry?
I'm saying like which player do you think we did the same, like we give the same treatment than Mikey Moore? That you feel like you're tired of seeing the same thing?
I
Which
think we've
ones?
been raving about the academy for so long now. We've been since
Like
last
who?
year. We've been saying that we've got the class of '92. I was
Who
told
said that?
Torrington. You know who said it anyway, but you know what I mean saying
No,
it's like I'm saying,
the
but
under 18s, the under 18s, 16s, 14s. That's the crop that we need to look at. The under
that's the
21s,
thing.
unfortunately,
That's what
most
I've
of them
been
aren't going to
told.
make it
So
at Spurs, if any. But there's 18s and below. Mikey Moore's from the 18s. From that crop and below, there's some talent, man. There is. I'm telling you now, the 12s and 14s. Mark my words on that lot.
but it's just like it's the here and now. I'm more what
Yeah, of course.
because
Yeah.
I don't think that first team is as good as what we're saying at the moment. We've done okay, but I'm yet to be convinced this is the way forward for me because I still do not rate that squad. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
the other
nobody rates the
teams.
squad.
I think the
Nobody.
other teams have surprised me. I think Aston Villa are the ones that I've been surprised by because I do like the way they play, and I think their players look more like men than ours does. I
They
think we
got a
work
very
a
good
lot.
manager as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
She's
point I'm
world
making, Dan.
class.
You know what I mean? Again, I'm not having a go at you, Dan, because you know I've got
It's all right,
I do.
mate.
You know what
It's
I mean?
all
You know,
right.
because I know you defend me a lot, so I have to
It's
big
all
you
right,
up.
man.
Yeah, I know, but I have to say it. But you know, that's the point. But the thing
You
is,
two
that I
crap
just
me up, man. You two crap me.
well, it's football, isn't it? It's football. But the point I'm making is just I just don't see it at the moment, and just I think it's also the fan base are getting on my bloody nerves as well. To be honest with you, that's the thing. That's what's just pushed me the other way so
Do you
much
see
now.
the problem, Alex? You listen to other people that you should not be listening because most of them are just lying to their teeth.
Well, no, they have
I
a go
know.
at me, but anyway, moving on.
No, I'm just saying,
For
like,
me,
you should not be listening to them.
listen, I want to talk about this player here. There's two players I want to talk about.
I can share.
In fact, I've only got this image. Brennan Johnson.
Oh,
No,
please.
please.
Oh,
Fuck.
God.
No.
That
Listen.
was taking a
Listen, right?
biscuit.
Listen. We need
It's
to talk
silly.
about it because he has scored 5 and 5. A lot of people have said he's silenced the critics and that he's actually now proving his worth. I'm one of those fans that he's getting pelters left, right, and centre. What I'll say is this, and then all have your say. He's doing nothing different to what he did last year, in my view, which is
At Nottingham Forest as well.
against weaker teams and the bottom 10. He's turning up, and he did that last season quite consistently. Against the top 10, that's where I need to see it. So Arsenal, Newcastle,
Scored against Man U.
Man United are 13th in the league at the moment, and they lost to Porto tonight after taking the league.
No, but
Like I said, when I
Still 3-all.
I finished 3-0. Okay, another 3 goals they conceded. So, like I said, defensively they were awful, and I saw it again tonight against Porto. So, Man United as a club are big, but they're not this season in terms of the league. They're a mess. So, I don't think Brennan Johnson has shown me anything against top opposition so far. We've got Villa coming up. We've got Brighton coming up. At some point, we've got City. We're going to have to play Chelsea, Liverpool. If he does stuff in those games, then listen, I deserve every pelt that comes my way.
Does it really matter if he does it against the top teams though? Because the thing is, though, Man City didn't beat any of it. This is not my point. Someone said it to me. Man City didn't need to beat everybody to win the league. They just beat the young.
Okay, I'll tell you why I say it. Alex. Because if we get to a semi-final or a final, we're not playing Brentford. We're not playing Everton. We're not playing Karabag. We're not playing Ferencvarosi.
We played.
I get what you're saying. But I'm just saying
that we're not playing them in those games. We're going to play Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal.
We played Brentford and with Mourinho, so yeah, you can face them.
Still,
just say like in the biggest moment.
Dietrich, 9 times out of 10, we are not going to play those teams. There's a high probability we won't. There's a small chance we will. You're right. Fulham got to a Carabao Cup final last year as well. You got a point. But in general, unless we can do it against the big teams, I don't see how we win a trophy. Even in the Europa, we're probably going to come up against an Ajax or a Roma or a Lazio, that kind of a team in a semi-final final, right? So for me, and it's not just him, by the way. I'm talking about Kulu, I'm talking about Werner, Richarlison's, all these players. If they can't show it to me in those games, then I'm not going to sit and say, yeah, brilliant, amazing. But I'm not going to knock the guy who scored 5 in 5. I won't, which is why you haven't seen me say anything negative about him online recently. But after those games, if he hasn't done it, I'm going to bring this conversation up again. I will. I absolutely will.
But
that's my take on it. What's your take on Brennan Johnson, guys? That's just me. It's my opinion. It's just I don't speak for Spurs fans.
I think still. Listen, his stats last year, his overall performance last year, overall wasn't great. I think
he scored 17 goals and assists last season.
Hang on, I think it was 40. It was 4 goals and 10 assists, wasn't it? Which
he scored a lot more than 4 goals last season.
Okay, then
I'll tell you this right now. Wait.
The stats were healthy. I do think that the last 2 or 3 games, I think he's showing more confidence. He's tracking back. His thinking, his football IQ is improving because it was poor last year. And I think, he's doing a lot of work off the ball as well. And he's got a confidence. I mean, you saw him hit that ball first time that hit the bar this evening. He'd never try that. And the goal he scored, he's just been, the goal he scored against Brentford, right to left, beautiful shot. The goal he scored today with his other foot, fabulous goal. Super, those are the goals of a confident player. So let's hope he takes it on to the next level. And at the moment, all we can say is we hope. But for today, obviously, the games will come in due course. But today, let's enjoy the fact that after a funny start, because for me personally, the Arsenal game should have been a draw because Romero was pushed, and that game should have finished 0-0. We weren't particularly good, but it still should have been 0-0.
Our results. What did Johnson do against
quite easily been sitting on 16 points this season?
But what did
chances that our possession brought about? So I'm more optimistic still, and I'm more optimistic about Johnson because he seems to be taking his game on a bit. To me, he's improving his game. Time will tell whether he keeps it up or not, and whether he keeps improving it and he takes it up to the next level.
Do you agree? It happens to be in games where we're not being tested. Where was he against Leicester when we were up against it? Where was he against Newcastle and Arsenal? When the pressure's on, where is he? That's the point I'm making.
I think
he hasn't proven me wrong in that.
Still,
not just him. Kulu's the same, by the way. Kulu's the exact same in those games.
Yeah, but players grow into a season. They start a season. You can play any number of pre-season games. It's not the cut and thrust of the Premier League. You get into the Premier League, and unless you're Man City, and Arsenal or Liverpool, and you've got X amount of quality players in your squad, you're not going to hit the ground running, are you?
Yeah, the only problem I have with Brennan Johnson is like we always do this. It's always if he does that, if he does that. It's always like we know he's gonna do it. Like I know he's gonna become a top player. I can see it with Brennan Johnson. Outside of these goals, I see he has 0 qualities, and I'm just being honest. I'm not going over the top.
Ian, I mean, whoever, no, I've got a point here. I'm sort of with it and against it, I've been one of his biggest critics, but to me, fair play to the boy, He's had a lot of fucking shit on his back. A lot of it that he deserved. He deserved the criticism. He's a man. He's not a little boy. He's 23? Grow a pair, man up, and do your job properly. And that's exactly what he has gone and done. A lot of other people would have sat in the corner and bitched off crying, like certain players like Sanchez and that did because they had a bad game, So you've got to give credit where it's due. And in my opinion, he deserves a lot of credit because that took some bollocks to basically stand up and score 5 goals in 5 games. Whether they're 5 games that really don't matter or they're tap-ins, it still don't matter. He's gone and stood up to a lot of shit on his back. And some of it he didn't deserve because it's personal and that. But on the other side of that, it's dog-eat-dog world. It comes as part of the package. Like it or lump it, But I'm not making that right. He stood up to it. He's now getting a bit of confidence. Do I think he's a good player overall? No, I don't. But one thing I have seen of him in the past, let's say 3 games, I think he started to read his game better of where to be at the right time. Whereas before, he just couldn't even be in the right place most of the time. But that's only going by 3 games. Do I think he's got a good pass on him yet? No. Do I think he could cross the ball? No. Do I think he could take his man on? Yes, he could. And I think if he gets a bit more confidence, he will start doing that. I do think he has improved. I do think he's going to improve. Do I ever think he's going to be a quality player? No. Do I think he's got a chance of being better than I thought he was? Yes. You got to give credit where it's due at the end of the day. He stood up to it. A lot of people would have cried in the corner like a little bitch.
Can I just argue back to what you're saying? I agree with you
Go for it,
about
mate.
him taking, the fact that he, what is it? Taking on the critique, and he went back and dusted himself off and went back and scored the goals, right? But in my opinion, he's gone back to doing the things that he's doing at Nottingham Forest, right? Being this inside forward. That's it, right? I don't think he's that great, right, in that sense, because I think he can score goals, which he was doing at Nottingham Forest. But I just don't think, and you said something very important there, he's confident. He's confident. I'm tired of confident players. We've got too many of them at our club, right? And that's why I don't think he's going to last. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, this is why I said I can take the fact that he's confident, but at the end of the day, unfortunately, there are going to be times where it's going to be difficult, and you're going to have to dig deep and try and do it. Now, yes, he's shown it a little bit to that now. I still need to see it because I still don't think
Alex,
this guy is
I
going
totally
to be.
agree. And
You know what I
I
mean?
think a couple of people on the chat don't realise I'm one of his biggest comments who sat there and said he's shit. Yeah. I don't rate the player highly, and I don't think he's going to be nothing special. But
But
I think he's
I
actually
hear your
starting to
point.
read his game better. Yeah. The time we will be able to tell is when we play the bigger games. But the boy can only do with what's in front of him, same as Ange can only win against what's in front of him. That's just being logical. Am I still Ange out? Yes, I am, because we've beat a team that nearly embarrassed us to the point that we'd have never been able to come out of the house again for the next 6 months with Coventry, who scrimped and scraped. 2 European teams that most of the people haven't probably heard of. Good result against Brentford, and we totally cooked Man U, but it was probably the worst Man U team I've ever seen. But he can only beat what's in front of him. And the man had Alex. He had a shitload of pressure on him, and we still managed to get the results. Yeah, same as Johnson. So on the other side of it as well, I will give credit where credit is due. I've slated them 2 to the floor because they deserved every bit of it, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm now going to give them credit because at the moment they deserve it. When we turn up against Liverpool, Man City, Man City are probably going to spank us even if we do turn up, yeah? But when we turn up against Villa, Chelsea, Brighton's going to be a big game. That's going to be a harder game than Man U all day long, in my opinion. Yeah. And if we turn up against a Newcastle again, and a Villa, and a Chelsea, whatever, and I see us at least have a good, solid game, even if we don't win it, and I see Johnson have a solid performance, even if we don't win it, and he doesn't have to score, I will say, yeah, maybe I was wrong about them 2. But at the moment, you've got to give it credit where credit is due.
Yeah, we've already given him
Fair
credit.
play,
That's
Daniel.
the thing. Yeah, but David, behave yourself. The point is,
No,
but it's the truth.
no.
But it's the truth, though. It's the
no,
truth. Though.
let-
I'm being
let
honest, though,
me-
because he's being credible. He's being credible.
Alex, hold on.
I'm just
One
saying
minute.
that's a very well eloquated. I can't even get the word out. Eloquently put point. That is because I've obviously had many one-to-ones with Dan about Brennan Johnson about this, and to see Dan come round and sit there, and Dan is one of his biggest critics, to turn around and sit there and say, you know what, I'm big enough to go, you know what, I'm his biggest critic, but fair play to you for doing this. That's what I was clapping on that front, because a lot of people are ignorant to say, I've got an opinion, and I won't even change my mind.
Hold on, Alex, 1 second. I want to hear Dan's take on Brennan Johnson. Go for it. I know you've already
Dave.
started. Finish it, Dave. Sorry, Dave. Beg
No,
your pardon,
it's
mate.
not my point on Brennan Johnson. My point was applauding Dan there because he's been very, very, very harsh on Brennan
What's your
Johnson
take on it,
on,
Dave?
on our
what's your
shows
take?
with him. You know, I'll get to that. But he's been very harsh, and it's very easy to sit there and go, you know what, that's my point of view, and I'm going to dig my heels in. I'm not going to change my point of view on that. And Dan's said he's not changing his point of view on it. What he's doing is opening up to the fact that Brennan Johnson, over the last few weeks, has proven that he's actually doing a good job. So he's not going to sit there and go, I dislike this person. I will not have him in my team. I'm just going to sit there and go, no to Brennan Johnson. Fair play to Brennan Johnson for sitting there and doing well these last few weeks. But he's caveated it with he doesn't think he's a great player. My point of view on Brennan Johnson specifically still is that I've actually followed his career since Nottingham Forest. I've got a lot Nottingham in my family. So Nottingham Forest are a little bit of a soft spot in my family. I follow them. So I've known Brennan Johnson since he was a teenager from their youth academy. And I thought when we signed him, very, very good prospect for us. And I know that's probably going to... Alex is smashing his hand against his head there. A prospect going forward. But I agree with what Dan said there. He's got the ability, he's got the talent, but he hasn't got the balls. He hasn't got the confidence. He hasn't got the sit there and drive to go forward and do it. So I am sitting there finally going, great. I can finally see you showing small sprouts. He's not there yet. Small sprouts of growth with him as a person. And I, as a Spurs fan, I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to get behind you, cheer you on. I've got a lot of reservations still, but I'm going to get behind you and say, please, please, please keep getting better and better and better, because the better you get, the better we get as a club. But I'm with Dan because we've had this debate before with him. He isn't mentally a strong person in terms of his footballing ability. He's not a great reader of the game, but he's getting better at it. So how long do we give him? Who knows? We want to win now. But whilst he's getting better and better and better, I'll be a fan behind him.
The other thing,
I think we're being too morally right.
Hold on, let's read the super chat. Guys, let me read a super chat from Sava. Big up Sava. Thank you for the super chat. He says, Johnson is in good scoring form. His form and Spurs form is what I expect against those clubs. If Spurs and both Johnson do well against City, Villa, Chelsea, Roma, Galatasaray and Liverpool, then fair play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving it to the end of the season. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to give it to the end of the season. Because I think we're being morally right here.
No, it's the way everyone works a different way, Alex. Yeah, I judge football and a player by a game. I'll judge a player over 90 minutes, and that's one reason why I do not rate Johnson as a player, because usually he turns up, and when he does score or set something up, he then goes missing for 85 minutes, and then he started improving last season by turning up for 10 minutes and then go missing for 80 minutes. The past 3 or 4 games, he's actually scored. And you've still known he's on the pitch. He's even come back and defended. Now, again, I don't rate the player, and I still don't particularly rate the player. But I have seen improvement, same as I've seen Ange adapt a bit of his tactics here and there. It's given me a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel with Ange, but it's going to take me a good long time before I turn around and say, do you know what? I've got that one totally wrong. And I doubt I'm ever going to sit there and say I think Johnson is an absolute quality player, because I don't think he is, and I don't think he's got the skill to be. But at the moment, he's improved, and he's had a shitload of pressure on his back that a lot of people and a lot of players would have sat there and just cried in a corner, like they've almost got the right to these days because they're in that little bubble, yeah? He's actually manned up, grown a pair, gone and scored 5 goals against every team he's played against. He can only do what he's playing against. So you've got to give credit where it's due at the end of the day.
But you said the same thing, Dan. But Dan, you said the same thing. I get what you're saying, but you've given him credit. I've given him credit as well. But at the same time, I'm saying do better now. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm just not getting it at the moment. It's like, well, we can't say anything. We can't critique him even more to say do better now. At
the moment I can't critique him. I can say is carry on.
Dan, that's what I'm saying, Dan. But Dan, you gave him credit. I see that. It's fine. It's cool. But I was saying the same thing as you. But the thing is, I think because we want him to do more, and we're not overpraising him like some others are doing, I think this is where people are saying we're going this other way of being morally thing, and
No,
that's
I
it.
think what you're seeing. No, what you're seeing is, yeah, some people are like, "Oh, you're in the mud, you're this, you're that, and everything," because you said he was shit. He scored 5 goals. Yes, he scored 5 goals in 4 games that we should have destroyed anyway, and everything else. I totally get it, but I'm not going to give him credit for the end of the season because it ain't the end of the fucking season. I'm just going to give him credit for what I've seen in the past 5 games and the pressure he's had on him and the amount of criticism I've given him. Now let's see what he can do in the next 5 or 6 games. And if he just goes totally missing again, if he goes totally missing against City and everything,
but that's exactly what I've said.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah,
and I'm just saying, and if he does it and goes missing against Villa, against Chelsea, against City, whatever, I'm not saying he's got to score in that, but if he just goes missing, I'm then going to sit there and say to everybody, well, there you go, people. He's been good against the small teams, fair play to him, but when it turns up to a big game, he can't get his finger out his arse.
Last thing I'll say before he says anything. Last thing I'll say before we get anything. The reason why we're having this argument because we won no trophies. No Man United fan, Liverpool fan, Chelsea fan, Arsenal fan, Manchester City fan will moan over a player, right? Because they have won trophies, because they don't get emotional over a player. I'm sorry, it's just so annoying right now, and I'm so right by what I did my video on saying that people are getting too emotional about players. Yeah, because the last couple of weeks, and you know Dan for a fact, yeah, because I was in a WhatsApp group, you know what happened there when I mentioned when I did my video, and they couldn't take it. Yeah, right. That this just sums up our fan base. Yeah, and please don't tell me, look, not you, Dan. Anyone tell me I'm negative, I'm this or that, yeah, because us lot don't know what we're doing. And what were people telling me 3 years ago, 5 years ago? Some people that I can't mention on this channel were saying to me, I cheer for averageness. Winks, Bergwijn, Eric Dyer, all these other players. What are we doing now? And then they're telling me I'm hypocrites. That's all I need to say, and that's it. Mr. Box Office.
That's all I'm saying is giving credit where it's due.
That's all I need to say. Back to you still. I'm done.
Right. Can I just make a couple of points? Firstly, I think the one good thing that Johnson, as well as Johnson scoring goals, he has been a match winner for several of those goals. And secondly, you've seen what encourages me is that Maddison's playing well, Kulu's playing well. Bentancur, after 2 bad injuries, is getting back to where he was prior to the knee ligament injury. And these players will help Johnson. And I think they'll help the team. And that's why I'm fairly upbeat and I'm quite optimistic for the next few weeks. Because there's no reason. Listen, been there. I went to a game I remember going to a game in 71. We beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge with 2 goals by Mullery and Pearce in injury time. And if we'd have beaten Newcastle the following week in November, and Newcastle was something like 16th at the time, we'd have gone top. We lost 2-1. And that feeling of underachievement and being let down, just at that point, that we can go on and just step up, that's never left me. Because apart from a few cup, we've had some great cup wins over the years in the last century, but that's always been the way with Spurs. They win a few games, you get really excited, and then bang, in the big game they let you down. But I'm quite positive at the moment. Listen, we're nowhere near the top 3, nowhere near. And for me, we're probably at the moment well behind Villa and Chelsea. But I'm quite optimistic because certain players have run into form. And they've run into form together. So, we are winning games. We can only beat the teams we're playing. And who's next?
Ian, how are we behind Chelsea if their manager's only been there 2 minutes?
What do I think we're behind them? I think they've got a better squad than us. I think they have spent more money on more established players. And I think Pochettino, who I love, did a fantastic job. Didn't deserve to be sacked. I think he probably got sacked because he wasn't a yes man at Chelsea, probably learned from previous experiences. And he left them a good squad. And I think, they've gone out and they've got João Felix, they've got Neto. They're not buying idiots. And they have strengthened their first team and the squad substantially. You know, I mean, Cole Palmer, what a player. I mean, he, along with Haaland, he's got to be the best player in the country.
So when fans like me say Bergvall, Gray, Solanke's, Werner's, I'm not excited, I've got a good point there, haven't I? Because we're behind Chelsea. And they haven't gone and bought those kinds of players.
And as I said to you, still, we've only bought, apart from Solanke, who I think will improve the team. We haven't bought anybody else who goes straight into that first 11. Whereas the previous year, we had Vicario, Basuma, Udogi came in, Van der Ven came in, Maddison came in. We had half a new team come in. This year, we've got one player. And you could see from the performances last year that the team wasn't up to it.
Our manager said they're his signings. It's on me.
Well, it is his signings. Daniel Levy's confirmed it.
He's towing the party line, isn't he, still?
Yeah, but this is the catch-22 I've got. Because then when I criticise the manager and call him a yes man, I get absolutely butchered. I got people making Twitter accounts about me with clowns around it, building this timeline of hate that I'm the devil because I say
the devil.
Dietrich, read the room. I'm just saying, it's like I just find it the way we pivot as a fan base. 1 minute, brilliant, amazing, and yay, but we're behind Chelsea because they bought good players. Well, how the fuck are we praising our players then? This is the bit I don't get.
Not until we win a trophy,
you know
we'll never agree
you know
on
what I think
things.
is? I think my standards maybe are just higher than most fans for what I.
Wait.
You just know what a good team is.
I'm not directly attacking you lot when I say that. We're just a little bit.
But you just know it's a good team. You just know what a good team is, and that's
exactly.
it. And the thing is, though, I think it's just like I said before, right? It's that I'm passionate about my team. I don't do this YouTube channel for nothing, yeah. Right. So when people say I'm getting angry, I get annoyed because I sit there and say, "Well, you try and have a black man because people say you're shouting. It's annoying. You know what I mean? Yeah. The thing is, though, is that I see this and I see people saying what they're saying about players and saying we need to give them credit. It's like, well, great, but I want to see more. I need to see more. I need to see it to see our team go from one end to another end and win trophies because I'm fed up. Right, I'm going on shows with Arsenal fans, Man United fans, Chelsea fans, and I can't say nothing to them. I can't say.
I agree with you, but
October is a bit hard, isn't it? We've got to wait till May for that. That's the only time we're going to know.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, but that's the point I'm making. So I'm not going to change my mind on one game. I don't understand why people don't understand it.
No one here is. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying this to you, Dan. I'm not saying this to you, Dan. But
you've got other people out there who have all of a sudden changed their mind with Ange, or all of a sudden saying people like us are in the mud. Because, like I said, we've beat 3 fucking teams that could have quite nearly embarrassed us. One was a good win with Brentford as such, and the other one, we was absolutely excellent, but it was the worst Man United ever. But there has been signs of improvement. I've even seen Ange adapt a little bit. That's given me a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. But I haven't changed my mind on nothing. I still don't think Ange is a good manager because he has not done anything as yet to make me change my mind. He's just given me that little bit of light at the end of the tunnel that, okay, keep going and let's see how you do against the bigger games. Let's see how you've done by Christmas now then. Because I was willing to get him out now. If he left now, I still wouldn't give him monkeys. But okay. You've had 5 good games against 5 bang average teams basically, but going to Old Trafford and winning is not easy for anybody, even though Man U are pretty shit these days. And okay, now let's see what you do in your next games. And if we then disappear on the bigger games as such, I'm just going to sit back and say, well, I wasn't wrong. Looks like I was right overall. I'm just giving credit where it's due at the minute. That's all.
No, I get you, Dan. I get you, Dan. Yeah.
Guys, read the super chat quickly. Ian, I'll read this and I'll come straight back to you. Savra again, thank you, says, if we're purely going by stats, Dwight McNeil has 3 goals and 2 assists in the Premier League. No one is losing their mind over him. It's a good point. It's a good point. Ian?
I do think, funny enough, when you look at it, that my feeling that we're probably 6th best in the league at best, but we haven't got a hope in hell of winning any of the domestic competitions because there are 4 or 5 better teams than us who are still in those competitions. But I do think we could win the Europa League. I do think we're in the conversation there.
You know what?
Until we get
I
kicked
agree
out
with
of
you.
one of the cups,
Sorry?
until we get kicked out of one of the cups, we've got a chance of winning them. Yeah,
We
Yeah.
do. But if we're looking at it
because with a
realistically,
cup, no, realistically, no, I agree. But can we? There's a chance of it because you can win a cup out of pure luck, basically. I mean, how the hell England got to a bloody final, I will never know when they was probably the worst team in the fucking tournament. It can happen, but will it happen? I doubt it, but there's still a chance. That one's just hope more than anything.
West Ham got to the
I know
Conference League final, won it.
Right.
And
But you haven't got.
I agree with the point Ian's making there in the sense that there's harder opposition in the domestic cups than there are the Europa League.
Right.
I think that's.
I'm agreeing with you.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, Ian, but I think that's roughly where you're going with that, isn't it?
It is, for sure. We're not good enough, in my opinion. If we play against a full strength team that Liverpool put out, City put out, Arsenal put out in a cup game, honestly, unless we get very lucky, all the decisions go with us. The other team gets a player sent off. If you're looking at it in footballing terms, I don't see it.
We ain't got a chance.
It's beating anyone. But the Europa League, it's funny actually. You know, the teams that I
look
thought.
What Man U did to City last season.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I mean. A cup is just on the day, isn't it? It is just on the day.
It can happen, but we don't seem to win those, do we?
Look, it's gonna sound like insane. It's gonna sound insane. No, it's gonna sound insane, but like I'm not trying to be a happy clapper. If Ange can manage to just find a way to manage the team in a game, we can beat the cities, we can beat the Liverpools. We are more than capable. But we have to take our chances and we should stop playing the high line. Only two things. Because our midfield for me, it's gonna sound insane, but I think is the third best midfield in the league.
What?
Performing wise, I'm saying performing, not on paper, just performing.
Who
for me, we have
who are the two better than us?
Arsenal and City. I don't think
Liverpool.
I'm not a fan of performing.
You don't put Liverpool Aston Villa ahead of ours right now.
No, performing wise, no. On paper, yes. On paper, yeah.
Who have our midfield performed against?
Ask you to expand on what you mean by performing there. Sorry, I'm not
performing.
Quite sure
I mean, like everyone's
hold
playing.
on. You don't get out. You don't get out of it that easily. You can go to his.
No, because
what team? No, because you started coughing. What teams have our midfield performed against, please?
We perform against Man U. We perform in the against Brentford.
Brentford. Yeah.
Everton.
Relegation. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. They performed. That's all I'm asking. They performed.
I don't think they did badly against you.
No, they performed.
They played well
against high caliber.
It's amazing what 6 games does to you, isn't it? It's amazing what 6 games.
No, I'm saying performing wise, but they can still it's like a little last year. They can still go
I think Chelsea's
one
midfield,
of the worst.
Aston Villa's midfield. I think Newcastle's
better
midfield,
than Chelsea.
Arsenal's and City's midfield have performed better than ours this season so far.
His stats, I swear, stats are just over hyping our.
I'm looking at the stats. I'm just looking at the
stats.
I swear it is.
Dietrich, I think our midfield is better than what it's performed so far. But so far, I don't think it's performed better than with a third best performing midfielder. That I don't.
Because Madison is playing
none of our midfielders score. None of them. Kulu once in a while. Madison doesn't score. Scored one against Brentford.
Getting assist.
That was it. Thought he got one
against Brentford. Assist.
Yeah, but I'm saying they've got to score as well, haven't they?
No, I'm just looking at they creating big chances. They're doing their job. The defensively, they're doing. I'm just looking at the stats.
I know I'm changing the subject. There's a reason though, because we're running out of time, and I've got to wrap it up in 10 minutes. I do want to speak to you guys about this, right? I made a massive song and dance about this when it happened, and I got coated more than anything else that I've said this season. I really, really feel like fucking vindicated, okay? Not that I wanted to. Guys, do we all admit he's an absolute joke of a signing? Do we admit it's not about confidence? It's not about giving him a chance. He is just crap.
I'll tell you
is anyone going to argue it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, yeah. This is what really gets on my nerves. No. Let me do my bit. I mean, how is it people say it? Oh, yeah, let me land. Yeah. I suppose this is
You're
going to be a
learning, Dan, aren't you? You're learning.
this is going to be a helicopter crash. I think a few people out there need to go support our player, back him up. Look at all the mental abuse this man gets. Look at all the racial abuse he gets for being German, getting called every name he gets under the sun. Look at the amount of stick he gets. How about some of you worthless Spurs supporters get off your ass and back up your player? Yeah, do it. Are they going to do it like they did with Johnson? No, because most of the ones that were saying that about Johnson is all I keep seeing is them saying Werner is shit. He is shit.
You know the frustrating thing about Werner? The most frustrating thing is that he gets himself into these positions and it's like he's got a mental block. It's like he just mentally falls apart. That final pass that's going to put the player in on goal, or the shot when he's one-on-one.
Ian, does he fall apart? Does he fall apart, or is he just crap?
I saw him. So he came down to Spurs just before COVID. He scored the most blinding goal from the edge of the box. He was scoring goals for fun. So he's done it. He has done it.
So did Dele Alli.
No, but I'm just saying that. And on Sunday, his pace has taken him clear of the United defence. I'm not sure Sonny would have got onto those balls speed-wise. Sonny would have finished them though. And he's one-on-one. And he balls, and like tonight, horrendous. It's like he gets into these positions and he's no idiot, like football IQ-wise. He's no fool. He's played many times for Germany.
No.
And it's like he needs to see us. He needs to go and see a sports psychologist desperately.
Sorry, here's the thing. When we signed him last January, Ian, when we signed him last January,
yeah,
I was fuming back then. I'm like, I can't believe we freaking brought this guy in, and I called him a bum. Yeah. That apparently he's not allowed. You're not allowed to say those things, but he is a bum in my view. As a player, I think he's ass. He then did 4 or 5 months with us, missed chance after chance after chance, scored a couple. I don't know what's going on with David. I think I missed the joke. He scored a couple, got a few assists, and then I knew what was coming, right? Everyone said it's a stopgap. He's only here until the summer, until we fix the position. Stopgap, stopgap, stopgap. That's all I heard from everyone. And then Ali Gold put a tweet out saying, I've just seen some data that shows he's one of the top dribblers in Europe. He ignored his shooting, his accuracy of shooting, his accuracy of crossing, the goals he scored. He ignored all these metrics. And I said to myself, why is he doing this? Why is Ali Gold doing this? And that's when I thought, oh, shit. He's planting the seeds because we're actually going to sign this guy again. And I thought, no, it can't be. It can't be. And then when we signed the stopgap, again, I lost it because I knew how atrocious this was. I couldn't believe it. And most fans said, you can't say that, give him a chance. They all went back on their stopgap argument. They've now gone on to, if Andrew wants him, I want him bollocks. And here we are, 2 or 3 months into the season, and I think most fans unanimously admit he's shit. And instead of just saying, do you know what, he's crap, we fucked it, this was stupid, because every club makes a mistake once in a while. What they're saying now is he's got confidence problems. He needs more coaching. Someone needs to do shooting. I can't believe it. He's the 3rd highest paid player at the club, and we're saying he needs some coaching. What the fuck is he? 3rd highest?
It's terrible. We shouldn't be here for that. But Dave,
he's getting away with it, and fans are justifying it, and I can't believe it.
No, he's shit. To the end of the season. He's with us to the end of the season. So for me, the club should send him off.
Disgrace. It's a disgrace, Ian.
It is. He shouldn't be with us.
I didn't want him. I didn't want him re-signed. To me, he didn't do anywhere near enough.
It's the excuses I'm hearing for it now. It's the justification. And I'm not you, Ian, but this.
But we are where we are today, and he's part of the squad, and the squad's thin anyway. So we all want Werner to do well. They should ship him off to a sports psychologist and find out why, when he gets in front of goal, he just freezes. Both with his passing and his shooting.
The 3rd highest paid player at the club
Ridiculous.
decision that we made, and now we're saying, oh, he needs a psychologist. Why the hell did you sign him then?
He needs something.
Do you know what I likened it? Do you know what I likened it to, Ian, the other day with a chat with Dan? It's like, you know, someone that goes up on a height and they get vertigo and they start getting dizzy. That's what he's like in the final third. And for some of the younger generation, what I think about Werner, I think in his head when he's playing a game of football, you know, when the games, you're playing FIFA and the game's loading and you just got yourself the little character and you're having a little dig at goal, having a little run around on your own and playing some. I think he thinks like that on the football pitch. He forgets that there's 21 other players on that pitch running around doing the same thing. That's what I'm a Brennan Johnson supporter. I'm an Ange in man. So out of all the people on here, I am the most positive going. But Timo Werner is an absolute joke of a player within this squad. I agree with Ian. He needs sports science or something, psychology or whatever he needs. But in his first half of his career, he was amazing. So I don't know what's happened where he's gone down the hill. But we're getting a player that's gone down the hill. And still, just to put you right, you said, I don't know what's going on with... You said that we can't say the word bum, and then you followed it up with arse. That's what sent me. I got confused.
And with what I said, for me...
Well, I said apparently we can't say it, I don't care.
I mean, for me...
But then you followed it up with arse.
Yeah, I'll probably have to...
the comment I made,
delete it Monday.
As far as I'm concerned, there's some people out there, Spurs supporters, that don't have the right to criticise Timo Werner, as far as I'm concerned. Because as all they gave it was, you can't say this about Johnson, you can't say that about Johnson, he's a human being, you're mentally attacking him, you're bullying him, you're this, you're that, you're everything up to a see you next Thursday sort of thing. And then they'll turn around and say, Werner's shit, he's a waste of space, he's this and that. We'll talk about contradict yourself. I was only getting told a few weeks ago, you got to back him. He's a Spurs player, back him to the bone. Whether you like him or not, you got to support him. You don't support if you don't back your players and that. Well, hang on a minute, people. You was all bragging on about how we got to stick up for Brennan Johnson and that because he is a Spurs player and we was mentally bullying him and everything. So shouldn't you be doing the same for the other Spurs player, Timo Werner?
Dan,
no,
I love that.
No, they don't, do they? No,
that.
Alex knows where I'm going here. So about a few of you need to stop contradicting yourselves, don't you?
Love that. Absolutely love that, because that's exactly why I said that we
just
did
leave
this
it at
Harry
that,
Winks.
mate. Alex, just leave it at that. Just leave it at that.
Yeah,
you know where I'm going, mate.
Yeah, but you know, I like to dig it in even more. You know, I like to dig it even more. You know what I mean? Because I get it so many times. You know what I mean? You know,
Savage says, just remember the scouts that Ian worships, the experts, signed Werner twice.
Well,
twice. Yes.
So
we get Raiji back.
Hang on. Let me answer that because.
And then he says, "Love you, Ian." So
that's fine. I love Sava as well. Where listen, it's all passion. We both love the club. Absolutely fine. What I will say to Sava though is that, and I've read it all over the place and heard, Werner coming back was Ange's decision. That was him, not the scouts. He made the decision to bring him back for the second for this season.
Yeah, well, it was Ange's decision because Daniel Levy's confirmed it. It's all been Ange's decision. All these signings have been Ange's decisions. So
do you know what the tragedy is about this player, right? At least with Johnson, who I said he needs to show it in the big games, he scored 5 goals in 5, right? There's something. Solanke, 2 goals, links up the play. Good. Sorry?
Solanke's 3 and 4.
Okay,
yeah,
3
but
goals.
I think Solanke's 14.
He links up the play. He starts the press. At least there's something.
That's the point.
What does Werner give us? What does he actually achieve for us?
You know what the annoying thing was? It was that game against Man U. I can say for the
first
time, I actually felt sorry for him because he did everything right until he got into the final third.
165 grand a week.
No. Forget that bit. Yeah, I'm just saying. He does actually take his man.
A super chat every minute.
He can actually dribble the ball. He can. He's got some pace on him, but just when it comes to that final crunch, he just ain't fucking got it.
Yeah, but Dan, But Dan, what did I talk to you about arrogance
He
and
didn't have it
swag,
last season.
bro?
No, I agree.
I'm
He should
sorry,
not be here,
bro.
and I think he's
It's the
shit. It's
character,
just
like
I almost
it's
felt
all
sorry
about
for
the
him.
character, bro. I'm
I
sorry.
agree.
Like,
I
if
don't
we're
want
gonna
him here.
start doing this, because what we're doing is we're trying to get him in, playing him into form, and I'm just like sitting there thinking, this
No,
is not a
because
big
there is
club
no form with
mentality.
He
him,
was
mate.
third
There is
choice
no
at
form with him.
Leipzig, and they loaned him to us. The
Yeah.
major red flag was when they didn't want him the second time, and we're like, "Yeah, we'll have you." It's bonkers, man. The Werner signing is bonkers, and
It
I
is.
stick to what I've said. He's going to cost us games. There's going to
He
be
will.
moments where the bench
Yeah.
come off, the subs come off, and they don't save us, and it's the one-on-ones Werner's missed that are going to cost us, because had we had another player in that situation that put in the back of the net, and there's going to be games where he cost us at Old Trafford last season. Do you remember 2-2?
Yeah,
and he missed a couple of
He should have had 3 goals in the past 2 games.
You
Yeah,
can't.
we're lucky. We're
He had
lucky.
3 1-on-ones.
3 one-on-ones, yeah.
Yeah, he's had 3 1-on-ones. I think that Mikey Moore's not going to they've got to be very careful with him. He's a young kid. They've got to ease him in. I think we'll see a lot more of him next season, a hell of a lot more. But I think this year, I think we're stuck with Werner as an understudy for some. Unfortunately,
I don't like that.
Hopefully that Yang
No,
guy
nor do
comes
I.
in
I
January.
don't like that. I'm
he's
sorry.
actually-
This
But
is
it
this
is-
is this
but
is why I'm
Ian's
angry.
right on what he's saying. It is what it is. He's a poor man's son.
I
isn't
get
he?
what you're saying, Ian, but I don't
He's a
like
poor
it.
man's son. I've said it
I
from
don't-
day. He is a poor man's son.
I
He's
really
exactly
don't
the same
like
type
that.
of player as Son. He just can't do what Son does.
Yeah. The problem is then that Ange likes him because he thinks he can play in Ange's system.
No,
And that's the problem.
No,
So
Ian,
that's back.
Ian, I can't agree with that. I personally reckon Werner's got photographs or something, mate, because he's he's got
Where's it
pictures or
going?
something.
Werner's got pictures of Ange at Diddy's parties.
You know what I mean? He's got to have pictures or something. There's got to be something personal there for sure.
I just think we can do so much
now,
more.
Now I'll
It's
delete,
just
now I'll
like-
delete the show, David. Now I'll
Can
delete
can
it.
you understand why I'm just when I get frustrated when I hear that? It's just like for me, I don't.
What?
yeah,
That Werner's
anyway,
got
it-
pictures of Ange.
No, it's not that. It's just the whole thing. It's just when I see Johnson and I see Werner, and then you got Son, and you got Mikey Moore, and you got well, I don't know who does the right hand. Who else does the right hand side now? Because Kulusevski's a midfielder now. I'm told now.
Well, Kulu
Right.
can go there if we.
Well, you got Odebert. Alex, you got Odebert to come
Oh
back.
yeah, we've got Alderbear, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got Odebert. It's another one.
but
It's another one.
it's just. I just think it's just.
I forgot all about him.
You know what? And I'm looking really bad now because I called him like he was cooking. I didn't think he was cooking, but would you have Gabbiadini back right now? Would you have bloody oh, I can't believe I'm saying this. Bloody hell.
Steinson.
I'd go
Fabio.
back a couple of years when we had
Strategy.
Kane, Son, and Bale on our front
Yeah.
three. But
Oh,
Oh,
well,
Alex.
no,
Alex.
I just don't know.
That's
I
level.
just,
That's
Alex.
level.
Alex, the period after Paul
Prime
Mitchell
Son Kane as well.
was really poor in terms of recruitment. They then brought in Paratici, who brought in Gabbiadini and Steinson, and all of a sudden, the scouting system has been overhauled. We're bringing in players from other teams, young kids, top kids that were going to other London professional football clubs because our place was so poor. Paratici went to Levy and said, "You've got to start paying these kids proper money." Levy said, "Fine." So Levy backed Paratici on that. All of a sudden now, Scott Munn's come in, Paritici's sideline, Gabbiadini's gone, Steinson's gone, and we got Lange. And you tell me, for me, under Paratici, he brought in Romero, Udogi, Vicario, Basuma. It goes on and on. Van der Ven.
I think Paratici's probably the best football director we've had since Paul Mitchell.
That was
Yeah.
the best. That was the best decision that Levy has made since he took over as chairman.
I think we've made a bad mistake. I think with Lange. I've got to be honest. I just don't get it.
Lange seems too much of a suit. He seems too corporate. At least Paratici, the tie wasn't probably done up. There's a bit of swag, a bit of dealing about him. You could tell there's a bit more.
You know, he
to
had
him.
his hands in a few pies, didn't he?
He was a bit of a He was the Italian redknapp, wasn't he? He's the Italian redknapp.
Yeah,
Let's have it right.
exactly that.
Yeah, but look at those players.
Actually,
Add Kulu, add Bentancur. I mean, it goes on. He brought in some really good players.
Yeah, they were for the first team, but to back up your point, Ian, like, the fact that Lancashire weren't like an academy player kind of thing. We went out and brought him as a youngster, and we spent a good 6-7 years totally neglecting our youth. And Dan will back me up on this. I've sit there and banged on about it. I know this will probably upset Mr. Box Office here, but we did not buy any youngsters or bring in any youth players. This is why I was going back to the Mikey Moore one earlier. The fact that we're actually showing that we're bringing through some kind of youth. We totally neglected that for years. And maybe we're seeing some of the fruits coming in from our efforts a few years ago. That's why we got to keep putting these efforts in now, because in a couple of years we'll have them. And I know I want to win now. I know you want to win now, but we've got to make sure that the building blocks are in place consistently going forward as well. And I think that recruit... So go on, Ian.
Sorry, Rob. If it meant we bring these kids in and we're building a team and we're going to be challenging big time in a year or two's time, then terrific. If it's going to go the same way as he didn't get everything right, Sabri. Emerson wasn't the best signing.
No.
But you can't get it.
Emerson, who's that goalie? Who's that goalie signed that lasted one season?
What's his name in Italy?
Galini, yeah. Did you see Gazzaniga's save, by the way, yesterday or the day before? Totally side subject, by the way.
He was I saw last week he was absolutely fantastic, and then he threw the ball in his own goal in the last minute.
Do you know what? There's only one player at Spurs I genuinely feel sorry for, and that's Jed Spence. I actually feel sorry for him because pre-season...
Levy signing.
But I feel sorry for him because he went on loan, came back, went on loan, came back. Then pre-season, he put a shift in and we said, do you know what? Maybe this is the backup or the second choice to Porro. We've got one here already. He comes on against Coventry, done pretty well. When he has, I thought for me, his second half performance at Old Trafford was decent. I'm not saying it was great. Yeah. It was decent.
No, it was respectful.
And Udogie is obviously better, but Spencer's a right back, not a left back, but he went there, did a good job. And he's not even getting in the European squad. And I just think, you know what? I just feel sorry for this guy. He should leave Tottenham. Just leave, man. Put a transfer request. Get out, because I think he's getting a raw deal at Spurs. I don't think he's anything special, but he's definitely shown enough to be part of the squad a bit more regular than what we're seeing, I think. Do you guys think he's...
Well, he played against Coventry. He played 45 against Coventry and he's played 45 against United.
But Ian, he came on because the shit hit the fan.
Right, but if Udogie's injured for Sunday, I think Spence will start.
Out of first choice, I would rather start Spence on the left or the right than Gray.
I agree with you.
100%.
100%, Dan.
Yeah. We all agree on that.
We agree with you on that one.
I think, and also Porro, this player did it again today. Show me again today why he should be more further forward. Porro, he hit the post with a fantastic shot again. You know what I mean? I just don't understand why we don't play him more.
It's a jar, mate. You see Porro, when I look at Porro, obviously not to the same standards and that, and I've said it before, I see a Bale there. And what I mean by that is nowhere near of the same quality in that, but I mean, I see a Bale there, i.e. defending is not his strongest point, but get that fella forward. He can cross, he can shoot, he can pass, he can take his man on, he's got stamina, he can run. Get him up the other end of the bloody pitch.
That's the point. I don't get it.
That is what I mean by I see a Bale out of it. Obviously not the same quality.
You could theoretically have Porro on one side and Johnson on the other, couldn't you? Well, you wouldn't need Werner, would you?
Because I don't think Johnson on the left is actually any good. I think he's better on the right.
But at least you've got somebody who can cross the ball.
Yeah,
someone that's crossable and dangerous, and you can put something in the final third. And I think that'd be more effective than what we've got at the moment. You see what I'm saying? You could even you could even put Porro there on the right, and then put Mikey Moore there. You know what I mean? And then you've got Solanke up front. And
but who's Mikey Moore going to learn from though?
Well, okay, fair enough. I understand that still, but you've already made a good point, really, to be honest with you, because it was a very good point that
Oh,
we
why
did
do you
have
like? Why do you
over
like?
on
I couldn't help
Southampton.
it.
Look at the money we had to spend for them too. You know what I mean? So they were useless, weren't they?
The thing about Poro is going back to Angie's tactics. He spends the majority of the time attacking anyway, Poro. So it's a bit of an irrelevant one for me. He spends most of his time in the attacking third, the attacking
But he
two
doesn't get
thirds,
into
if
the
you
right
like.
position. He doesn't get into that position.
Into the middle,
though,
doesn't he?
For a
in the
right
middle,
back,
though.
he does. For a
Yeah, but
right back, he's incredibly attacking.
Yeah, but he doesn't get
No.
into those positions to cross
No.
the ball enough for me. And when he
No,
gets
what
into that
Dave's
position,
saying, what Dave's saying is he's attacking, but the problem is he's in the bloody middle. He should
exactly.
be legging it up the flank and crossing it
That's
in.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Dan. I want him in that position
Dave
to
is
be
saying
crossing the
he's
ball.
very attacking. But
He is
we
very
just
attacking,
got him
but
on the wrong bit.
there's attacking and being effective attacking. And for me, the amount of times I've seen him and he's got a good cross in the box, or he's made a dangerous cross, or he's put a shot and he hit the post today, right? Show me again today why I'd rather have him in that position, because I think we're using him in the best way forward to benefit
Yeah,
us.
and he's doing all of that whilst playing right back. So what's the issue if he's getting into positions anyway?
No, he's not getting into those positions though. He's not.
You've just said he got in a position to hit the post.
Yeah, but he only once or twice. Only once or twice. Why about doing it more? Then we're punishing teams. That's the point. Why are we wasting him in the middle when he could be doing things more down the right? That's the point I'm making.
Oh no, sorry. Maybe I've misunderstood. I thought you meant playing right wing. Sorry.
Yeah, right wing. Yeah, so that's the thing. Right wing. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Rather than
so you want to put our right back right wing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he's our best crosser. He's our best. David, can you not see that he's our best crosser? Come on now.
He is. I love having a right back that can cross the ball that well.
But he's not a right back though, because he's not doing that much though. That's what I'm saying.
He's not wrong.
I think he does it more than enough.
Push Johnson further in with Solanke, because Johnson is an inside forward, stroke striker. He's not a winger, and plays.
I think Porro against Manchester United was the perfect Porro performance. Me and Dan touched on it, but he was brilliant defensively. Again, I know it's Manchester United, a very poor Manchester United. It feels weird saying that, but he was very brilliant defensively and brilliant going forward. That's the blend of Porro I want, because we got to see enough of him going forward, and he was also solid at the back. That's what I want from a right back.
Yeah, today
they can defend, but they can contribute going forward.
Yeah, today he's let the guy get the ball in, the crossing for the goal.
Yep.
Yeah, and he switched up. That's the frustrating thing. Yeah, but
so he's not a right back. He's not a right back. Why don't you just stop him from worrying about his defense?
But he's not a right winger either.
But I'd rather have him as a right winger than bloody what Johnson's doing at the moment. Then
I think he could be a right winger. I think.
You're telling me you don't want someone that can cross the ball and be dangerous at crosses right now? I bet you defenders are more worried about him than Johnson all day long.
Listen, just to clarify, Alex, I'm not disagreeing that he's not good at that. I'm not saying that. I think he's brilliant at that. But if he's doing enough of that at right back, it allows us to have a right winger that can do that even more. It makes us more powerful. My argument would be that Johnson still needs to do a bit more.
Well, that's the point.
That's a fair point. That is actually quite a solid point. I look
If
at
you imagine
Porro as well.
Porro behind a great right winger, what an attacking threat that is down the right.
Yeah, if Porro was overlapping, we'd see a lot more out of him, basically.
He's been overlapping a lot more. We've done this tactical one, Dan. He's overlapping more than he was last season. And just made a small tweak.
I said,
David, he is playing him wider, isn't he? He's playing.
He is. Thank you, Ian. Yes.
Yeah, but he is also
both fullbacks wider, isn't he? Which is giving Madison and Kulu the space.
No. Udogie, in that last game, he got caught in central. He got caught out about 4 times. The reason no one mentions this one is because the main time he got caught was when we actually scored a goal. He was in the bloody central, right out of position. He got overlapped, done with the ball. Who saved his ass? Van der Ven went and got the ball off the player, then charged up the pitch, put it across. But the thing that Ange's done, which I like, he's having one more central and keeping one a bit wider now. And then when that one overlaps a bit, that one comes central. But he's not having them both stuck in the middle. So now you can also see that Maddison's got a little bit more pace as well. This is what I mean by he has adapted a little bit. There's still a long way to go. But I do prefer that he doesn't have them both sitting in the middle like number 10s now.
The other improvement, Dan, we played 9 games, we let 7 goals in.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but I just think we need to do more attacking wise. I think that's the thing for me. I think we can be more lethal attacking wise. That's where I think we're doing a little bit more too much. But then I think this is what, if we're going to play like Man City, we're going to do that a lot of the time as well. But I don't enjoy that. I like to see my winger go past their man, and I think Porro can do it, and he can get a very good cross in, and I think that'd be very useful to players like Kulu, who's just getting into the box more now. You know what I mean? Like a Slanky. You know what I mean? You know, to get in the box, and then when he's doing those crosses as well. If Johnson's on the left, if he could play him on the left, he'll get in and score as well, because he's a bit of a goal scorer now, isn't he? So I just think we can use our players more. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, guys,
we scored 19 goals this season in 9 games, which isn't bad.
It's not bad.
It's just over 2 a game. It's pretty good.
Look, I need to wrap it up, guys. But before we do, just very quickly, just tell me your score prediction for Brighton versus Spurs. Dan?
2-1 Spurs.
2-1 to the Tottenham. Ian?
Same. 2-1 Spurs.
2-1 to Spurs. Box office?
2-2.
2-2. David, if you're still there? No, he's not there. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go 3-1 Tottenham. I'm going 3-1 Spurs. So,
Johnson 16-6 still?
Sorry?
Johnson 16-6?
I wouldn't put it past him. The way Brighton play, I think it suits Tottenham. They push up high, they give us a space behind. They always play it out from the back. We're one of the best pressing teams in the league right now. I think it suits us. So I'm going to go 3-1 Spurs. Everyone's going for a win here. 4-1, 3-2. Oh, there's a 2-1 Brighton, but this is an Arsenal fan. So 2-2. Scotland 4-2 to Brighton. David, we've just done a quick prediction for the Brighton game. Dan went 2-1. Ian went 2-1. Ian said 2-2. I said 3-1. What's your prediction?
4-3 Tottenham. Ozzy Ardiles style performance.
Mate, that is proper this then.
Yeah.
100%.
It's going to be.
But to be fair, Brighton do scare me about. I know this is more on De Zerbi's tactics. I know they've transitioned to a new manager, but Brighton scared me last season when we played them with Angie's system more than most teams. So
they absolutely fucking cooked us last season.
It should have been 7-up at half time down there.
They absolutely.
Yeah, but you know what? Newcastle absolutely cooked us as well at St James's Park, and they didn't this time. So
I don't think for the 90 minutes they did. They were just clinical. But Brighton absolutely dominated us.
No, but still, that's a solid point. We only lost 2-1.
I don't think it's going to be like that this time. But look.
No, I'm on about Newcastle.
Oh, okay.
It's a sarcastic comment, mate. Don't worry. We improved. We only lost 2-1. We didn't get a loss.
I get it
this time.
Big thank you to.
I like this new humorous Stan.
Yeah. You're not so miserable. A user, big up. Jamie, Sava, number 2.
Maybe I just had a good night last night.
Thank you to everyone in the chat tonight. Big up to all the comments, everyone that come on the show. We are back on. When are we back? We are back on Sunday. Sunday, we've got our post-match show. Brighton versus Spurs will be on. I think it's 9 p.m. A little bit earlier this time. Come and join us. Let's see how it goes. Otherwise, make sure you check out Dan Hotspur Hood and David, both on the Hotspur Hood channel. Like, subscribe to the Mr. Box Office with his spoiler alert videos that could pop up at any minute, any time of day. Check out Mr. Box Office. Ian, thanks for coming on as always. I can't believe you left before the players came to clap us.
No, we did. No, we stayed. We stayed.
All right, guys.
I wasn't really looking for Mikey Moore, though. I was just clapping the team.
All right, apparently he stayed. Come on, you Spurs.
How are you, Spurs?
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away.